Mike's all set, Lisa? Hey, what's up? Yeah, I know I usually try to help with that, I just kind of forgot about it. Oh, don't let it come in. Sitting right. Too slow. Yeah, your new snow days? Oh, yeah. One has to be plugged in.
4 million.
Oh, no, you're fine.
It's every weekend, but for next 2 months. Yes. I don't know, that one fan. Basketball process. Yeah. Right.
I would probably add like. What? I would probably add like agency figures up to
We have it in our area. And I thank God for the big old tires, road hazards today. You know, I'm a fixture in this. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the right place?
No, it's supposed to go to Chase, I think.
There's no tripping,
Correct?
Chase.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hello.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we might have to.
Tripping on it, no worries.
Online auto recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, is this like a feng shui thing?
Yeah, we just kind of moved in. That's what I said. I literally said feng shui when I walked in here. So, just the orientation.
What do you think?
So, it's tilted. Is it tilted towards the? I guess it's the east is that way, right? So
Yeah.
that's west. Yeah, I know that's north. Yeah. All right, let's call this meeting to order. Great to have everybody and welcome everyone back after the holidays. Happy New Year to everyone that's participating. We're so excited to have you. To everyone that's online, my name is Randy Wilburn. I am the board president for Ozark Natural Foods. And I'm excited to call to order today's meeting for Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. And we can go ahead and get started. If somebody would like to read the ends for me. Don't all have.
Do you have it?
I do.
You have your computer on?
What's that?
The camera here.
Trying to get my homework in order. Okay. Because of the co-op, there is a cooperative economy and a healthy, equitable community with trusted food, resources, and services, a network of local producers, a sustainable environment.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and quickly go over the agenda. I do want to just take a moment for all the board members to introduce themselves to everybody that's in the room. We have some wonderful staff in the room. We have some members in the room. I just want to make sure that everybody knows everybody. And so, again, Randy, board president, if you want.
Yeah, Nick Carson, newer board member since September.
Joshua Youngblood, older board member, years ago. Denny Warren. Jacob Sheets, very nice to meet you.
Danielle Dotson, current vice president.
Tony Farmer. Ian Barabo, current treasurer and secretary.
Yes.
Kenan McNair, board member.
All right. Dennis, introduce yourself.
Dennis Hanley, IGM, interim general manager.
Alicia?
Alicia Powell, Operations Manager.
Great. So, yeah, I appreciate all of you guys being here tonight. Just for everybody's edification, typically what we do is once we've read the ends and I call the meeting to order, we've done our introduction, just so folks know, I'll just go over the agenda review and we'll have owner comments. 2 minutes per owner for comments to the board. Consent agenda, which is essentially us just approving the minutes from the last meeting, which took place on November 28th, 2023. Then we'll hear floor reports, both from myself and from Dennis as the GM. He has his report. And then we're going to talk about reporting and board decisions with regard to B9 sustainability, board compensation electronic vote, which we had about a week ago. Then we're going to get some reports and hear some interesting feedback from the meetings for all the different committees. We have 3 committees: perpetuation, which focuses on the perpetuation of the board and ensuring that we have an amazing AMM, which is our annual members meeting, as well as just making sure we have outstanding candidates to consider for being members of the board. We also spend time with outreach. Outreach focuses on how the board reaches out into the community, which is a very important area. And then policy. Policy is just our policy governance and how the board operates within the confines of the rule of law that we have for this board and how it's operating, and the overarching policy of the co-op. So those are the 3 different committees, and so we'll hear from each of those committee chairs. We're going to have a discussion about the GM dashboard, which I'm really excited to see, and Dennis is going to go over that. We're going to talk about the board retreat agenda, which I actually don't have yet because Steen hasn't sent it to me, but we are going to talk a little bit about that. We have a date set and all that good stuff. So we will be having 2 retreats this year, not 1, and the first one is coming up in March. Financial review and audit options. And that's something I'm going to go over with everybody with regard to some information that I received from our accountant who is doing the current review, and then what our audit options are to consider. And we can kind of vote on that if need be. And then our GM search update, which I'm going to give everybody an update on where things are. I did send some information out to the board members, and we'll go through that. Board policies. We will go through and review D7, D8, and D9. And that's essentially just for us to reacquaint ourselves with different policies within the guidebook, so that we know, okay, yeah, we can say this is what the vice president's doing. And it's also for us to check in and see, is everything that we've just read, are we doing those things, and or does anything need to be corrected and or amended? So the simple fact of just going through and constantly talking about that with everybody keeps us sharp and on our toes with regard to that. So that's really important. We'll review the meeting decisions and assignments. We'll talk about agenda items for February 27th, 2024, which is our next board meeting. And then our calendar monitoring schedule, we'll go over that. We'll do a meeting evaluation and adjournment. And then at 8:30, we're going to have an executive session to discuss personnel matters with the general manager and a couple of other things that we can't talk about in open session. So that's pretty much where our meeting is going to go. And so without further ado, I want to welcome any owner comments from anybody that would like to make a comment about anything. Feel free to open your mouth and share. You've got 2 minutes. You are on the clock, and I will give you the hook sign when if you go way over that. So, but does anybody have anything that they'd like to add? We're in a new year, 2024. Really excited about a lot of things that are happening here at this co-op. I'm excited about this cool mural that's right behind me, and yeah, just what I'm seeing. So I'd love to hear from anyone that would like to share, any owners that have comments, and you have 2 minutes.
Andy, could I add something?
Yes.
First of all, we're not quite there, but we're getting there in this room. That wall there will be what, Lisa?
It'll be photos of farmers.
Okay, local farms. And this wall here will be what, Lisa?
It will be a large photo of the staff, and it will be our cooperative principles and possibly one other thing that we have yet to decide.
Yeah, and we're gonna all be, it's gonna be called Rooted in the Community. Anne Marie, that special lady on the phone right now, she came up with that. We're gonna all sign it. So we all got kind of like vested interest. Yeah. Yeah, we have a problem with the camera, but we have audio.
Yeah, so I apologize for anyone that's on Zoom
Yeah.
and expecting to see all of our beautiful faces.
Yes.
At least mine. You won't see that tonight because we don't have a camera, and we will get to the bottom of where that is and find out. But we do have some great mics, so at least you'll be able to hear us in good sound. So we appreciate your patience with that.
And then one other thing on member owners, I know member owner in the room, one of our favorites. So thank you for being here tonight. I'm having lots of discussions with member owners, just for the board to know, and everybody else in the room. We're just trying to work on the next chapter, you know? What CC Randy, he gets the royalty for that one. We're making very good strides, in my opinion. We met with, Emery and I met with Pauline, she's really excited to be able to get kind of reconnected to the co-op, okay? So I'm just letting you know, I can't change history, but all of us at the co-op are trying to rebuild and heal it. And I think it's going really well. I'm hearing just really cool comments. I've got one member owner who's, what's it, dowsing? Is that right?
Yes.
So I've learned about dowsing that I never knew. I've got another one who keeps making me bread. I've got another one making me cookies. So really making some nice strides, just to keep everybody apprised of that. I haven't heard one single negative comment. And the ones that are making comments, Rain would be an example. She gave us a list, and one of them was put the community board back up, and she's all excited. So that's what we're trying to do, okay? So we're not doing everything, we're just doing the right things.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
I'll comment.
Good
Hi,
feed.
Julian Allmember. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited about all the changes that we're making. I was really happy to hear that you met with Pauline and Dennis. Our food affordability program is really interesting, and it's something that I hope to go out and look into in the future. Her proposal for that is really fantastic.
Good.
I'd like to hear a little bit more about some of the changes happening in the bakery. I know that we've maybe shifted to some pre-made mixes, and I'd just like to hear more about that process and what it means for our bakers. And then, per usual perennial comment, I just hope we're all keeping wages in mind as a goal for this year. I hope that's something we're moving towards, that we have to boost profits before then. That's my understanding that no one's at that 16 an hour yet, so I just want to make sure we all got that and that mark.
Appreciate that. Thank you. You want to say something?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
please.
Very, very important, okay, is the board of directors, when we get to that point financially, I would be making a recommendation, okay? I think that you can speak to every staff member, and they know the goal is 16. So I just want to make sure, it's not a promise, the goal is 16. And financially, we have to get there, right? I think you're going to see some very cool results today that we're edging in the right direction, okay? So I want to make sure you know that. Bakery, I think when we get to the dashboard, you're going to hear a lot about bakery. But you'll like it, yeah.
I think it's also fair to mention to Julia and to anyone that would care to hear is that it is literally at the forefront of our mind. I do not think to a man and woman that's on this board or to Dennis, I mean, Dennis basically knows what the mandate is, and I'm even asking him, hey, what is it gonna take to get $1 incrementally as we grow? And I know, and I've overheard him talking at several of the morning's staff meetings that, you know, that's part of it. So the difference that I find now, Julia, and I'm speaking specifically to you, is that this was something that we just didn't talk about before. Okay, but we're in a new place, right? We've turned the page, we're in a new chapter. This is what we're talking about. And like you and like Dennis, I want to be at $16 as quickly as we can get there, as quickly as humanly possible. We're going to have a lot of 72-hour sales, but we can do it, and that's just part of the process. So, but keep pressing that, because that's. I mean, I want to make sure that everybody knows that we're trying to stay honest and remain focused on that.
And it's something that I want to press, not if I can carrot today.
No,
It is something that's important to us as a co-op, understanding that labor is a key part of our food system.
Absolutely. Well, and I want to just, I mean, as a entrepreneur, I want to remain competitive in an environment where we want to hire the best and we want to offer them the best. Why give them second best or just, so I mean, that's the focus. So, hey, and I'm glad there's a lot of them, that staff in this room right now because they, I just want that, I just hope that they see that that's kind of what our thinking is. And it's kind of one of the things that we all talk about even offline as board members, so.
Yeah, and I like something you said there about the carrot. I think that the staff knows I'm not into politically correct, I'm into genuine. And we're gonna find every which way to get that to happen, okay? So I'm just kind of putting that out there.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So if nobody else has any comments as owners, then we're going to move on to the consent agenda because we actually have a lot of meat in tonight's meeting and we want to make sure that we have plenty of time to address all that. So would somebody like to make a motion to approve the minutes for November 28, 2023? Okay. Second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor of approving the minutes for November 28, 2023? All right, let that be shown that it was a 9-0 vote, that we approved the minutes for November 28, 2023. Stephanie, I did want to mention, Stephanie helped me and Lisa helped me, but we identified a couple of agenda minutes that were kind of lost in the shuffle, if you will, from a couple of years back. We had this little pandemic thing happen, and so there was just a lot of craziness. But we were missing like 2 months or 3 months, and there were several members that were holding us accountable for those 3 months. And so I just want to say we found them, and I think they're all up online now, right?
I'll get them up online as soon as possible.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so we found them, which I'm happy to say, and so there should be like continuity in terms of the agenda and the minutes being posted online so people can see them.
I'll be sure to tell Teresa.
Oh, I told Teresa. But yeah, you can tell her again. So, listen, Teresa's on my back line, so I call her as quickly as I can or email her to let her know about things, whether it's that or owner surveys. Just so everybody knows, owner surveys are at the bottom of your receipts when you get them. You don't always get them, but I guess it's kind of randomized in terms of how that's done.
Exactly.
So, which makes sense because you're not going to give it out every time. But needless to say, I have filled one out. My wife has filled one out. One of my sons filled one out. We've all tried to take part in that, and I'm encouraging everyone, and I would encourage staff to encourage everyone to please take the survey because people are listening. So yes.
Is the intention, if you've already taken the survey, is the intention to take it again? No. Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Because I've gotten it on my receipt and
Yeah.
I took it as soon as.
Yeah, I didn't double dip. I only did it once.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I got it on my receipt and I thought, I could go on and say.
Yeah. I'll just put it, I'm just telling you straight up. Co-ops across the country, they do surveys. It's on staff, it's on member, it's on service. And I think a lot of GMs, they have a protected shield on. I don't have a protected shield. Those comments are vital. The staff survey really helped. The member survey, we're already working it on our daily huddles. And so I think they're really good comments already. And we will, once we complete, we'll be doing it at the board meeting.
And I don't know if you've noticed, but we have acrylic boxes around where you can, because I've actually filled something in and literally a couple of days later, I saw mustard packets and I was really overjoyed. So that's just me personally. But anyway.
We're moving as fast as we can on the moment. It's too easy. They're helpful.
Yeah.
And I love the community board. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
That's what we're here. That's what we're here from a lot of people. So.
And it's being monitored by Anne Marie. So you know that 5 days a week. Anne Marie and I talked on the way out tonight. We had does this not tell you about Fayetteville? So all of you, I don't know what does. We had a member owner come in, want to put something on the board. And they were just kind of concerned it was a bit politically incorrect. And I just thought that was cool as heck. That is not normal for co-ops across the country. That stuff just goes on the board. So I just compliment the member owners and customers of Fayetteville. I think we had a great group. So that should be up. Might have to be bigger.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go to the floor reports. I'm not gonna take a lot of time. Obviously with the weather and everything, Dennis and I only had one chance to meet over the holidays, I think, just
Yeah.
once. And, you know, quite frankly, I haven't met with the GM as much as I met when Mike was the GM. But the difference here is that I'm just trying to let, to use the vernacular, let Dennis cook. Let him do what he's doing, you know, and I'm trying to stay out of his way and let him focus on things. But I mean, we probably text every day.
Every
My
day.
wife gets a little jealous that I text with Dennis that much, but we
She's
talk.
starting to come in Saturday night now. No, just joking.
But no, I appreciate the openness that Dennis has with me and as an extension of me, it's really the whole board, because everybody here knows that they have access to Dennis. But
Absolutely.
so we had a really good meeting. I'm going to share some other things that we're going to talk about with regard to our board retreat, which is coming up. The board retreat that we are going to have, I'll get into that in a minute, but we just have, there's a lot of interesting things that are happening, and I really want to basically come back to the fact that, you know, now we're going to start in earnest the process of the hiring process. And so you're going to hear a little bit tonight about getting the committee together and what that looks like. I've already talked to the recruiter. I've already talked to the Colluminate consultant, who happens to be a colleague of Josh's, who's amazing, by the way, and had a really good conversation with her. And so I just feel like we're in good hands right now in terms of what we're about to do and embark upon trying to find somebody. And so, yeah, it should work out really well. The only person I haven't had a chance to connect back with is Tony Alonji, but I am aware that NCG is aware that something is amiss at the co-op because they don't know what's happening. And they're like, are you sure these numbers are right? Because you guys have been kicking tail and taking names on a weekly basis. And so I thank everybody on behalf of the board. I want to thank everybody for really showing out and showing up. And I really appreciate the way things have been handled through electrical outings, bad weather, you name it. Just a lot of good things are happening here. And it's just nice to come in and see so many smiling faces, like legitimately smiling. Wasn't always the case. And all of you remember back in September when I told you that those of you that listened, I said, my goal is that everybody that comes through these doors that are an employee of the co-op is proud to say it, and they don't mention it in mumbles, but they speak it out loud. And so we're getting there, and I'm excited to see that and to be a part of that. So I think we'll look forward to how things continue to move. But that's my presidential report for right now, and a lot of what I'm going to share, I will share in some of these other discussions that we have coming up, and so I look forward to speaking that. But I'll yield the floor to Dennis. So that he can have time for his GM report.
Would it be okay if I go right to the dashboard?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fine.
okay.
I mean, that's kind of part of your
Part
report,
of the
so
thing.
yeah, you'll just, yeah, that's good. Thank you so much, appreciate it.
First, I just want to thank Veronica, our amazing front-end manager, to be here tonight, LA, our wellness department head. Okay, keep calling it health and wellness. Dominic, our new HR associate. Jamie, our cashier. Brooke does everything, including watch out for Dennis. Gabe, and Fireball over there, Aaron. Okay. Just for the board to know, all of the staff are encouraged to come to the board meeting. All the staff, I appreciate that they're here. I pay them. Okay, this is something that's about them. I'm here on behalf of them. I represent them. I want to be transparent. So whatever I say, they've been hearing this. So it's no big stretch for them. Okay. I think as we go through today, though, the turbojets need to go. January's here. I think you're going to see some things. I don't know that you know about what we're really doing, but you're going to see all of it together. Okay. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to move at a quick pace on the dashboard. This is my signature. I don't think you'll find too many GMs with the dashboard and a monitoring report. So this is something that was designed for me, and I had two consultants at Colluminate help me. That would be Thane, and that would be Leslie Watson, okay, who I highly respect. So, starting with sales, you know, our goal right now, so for each of you to know, we started in the 190s. Our first goal is now 250,000 a week. We did average 225, 980 in the month of December. That's not looking at days that aren't a complete week, just the average weekly volume. That's up 20,000. So back to Randy's comment, that's over $1 million a year. Somebody lost 20,000 a week, okay? I don't even think we've started, so just putting that out there, okay? I think next item is comp sales. And LA, what's comp sales? I love when she answers this.
Comp sales is the sales for a period of time versus another period of time. So it could be this week, this year versus this week last year, month, day, however you want to do it.
Perfect, well done. Comp sales is the number one KPI, key performance indicator for a retailer, no matter what retail you're selling, food or otherwise. We started at negative 8.69 in September of 2023. The last 5 weeks, positive 3.6. So that is quite the turnaround. I can tell you this is the fastest turnaround I've ever been with on comp sales this quick. It's at the 3-month mark. Usually takes 4 to 5 months. And Randy being patient, all of you being patient, I'm just asking, stay patient. We're not there. Okay, more to come. And I think you'll see more tonight. Okay, let's go into our net income. Okay, let's just start with the asterisk. We'll take a few months to validate this number. So I realize this is all minutes, so I'm just being totally transparent and straight up, okay? Just need to understand that this co-op didn't have a finance manager for many months. And it had, we're talking about July of 2023, okay? And basically what's real important about this, okay, is that when you don't have chart of accounts right, when you don't count inventory properly, when no one knows gross margin or shrink, it has nothing to do with anybody that's working just a moment. You can hand that there so you guys have it. If you just give that back to me, just to be protective of them. Okay, it's all good. Okay. What's really important to understand about this, Stephanie, our third-party accounting professional, we're underway. Okay, and I think that you saw a document example. We're just putting best-in-class finance procedures inside the store. We have one person that signs the checks. That would be Lisa. We have one person that prints the check. That would be Alicia. Dennis knows every single check that's written, okay? The general manager should have nothing to do with money. I won't even touch the money in the tills. And it's just really best practice, okay? So you can rest assured, I would say by the end of the first quarter, March, these numbers are gonna really mean something, okay? I'm not overly excited with the negative 6,400 when we get to the P&L or the balance sheet. There's particular things there that Stephanie and I have looked at. We're looking at all the expenses, okay? Just so that you're aware, many of our vendors were not paid, okay? And that's because you don't have systems and processes, and you ain't got a problem. So Stephanie has reached out to every single vendor with Alicia's help, and they all know we want them paid. And we're making great progress. We're not aware of anybody today that's not paid. So we're making some really, how can you say, sometimes when people are here, and those some people aren't here no more, they block, okay? Because a new person comes in, and basically that's me, your consultant. I'm just calling it straight up. I got Jacob's wallet, and I'm gonna spend every dollar right, okay? So I just wanna make sure you know, this is going real well. It's going really well. We're probably less than 30 days, to be honest, with this accountant that we have. Stephanie, I've worked with her now 3 co-ops. This is our 3rd try. This is not that hard. I'm not sure if Alicia and Stephanie are related. They're having too much fun together, okay? So I just want to let you know that. And I think it's going really well. So don't get too overly excited about the net income. Just be patient. We're real close though, okay? Why is that important? Because we have taken an inventory here. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. The store took the inventory. They spent $9,700 in September when I showed up. The amount was $1,200,000. That's a lot of inventory if you're doing less than $200,000 a week. It just doesn't work, okay? And turns is a big thing in supermarkets. So I don't want to get too in the weeds here, but I'm just letting you know, there's a reason why there's no stock in the back room right now. It's out all on the floor, okay? And we will have a third party, March 31st will be the first inventory. They'll be, they look like little propeller heads, and they got the little machines, and they'll be counting all the departments with the exception of produce, meat, bakery, kitchen, and bulk food. Bulk food will be taken quarterly, and all those other fresh departments will be taken monthly. Just got to realize that our department heads have not done this before. And some have a little experience, but what's really important, not the count, the shrink. So we're gonna train and develop on shrink. We're gonna show how you reduce. We don't plan on being, just like the $16, we don't plan on being the second or third co-op. We plan on being the #1 co-op on minimum wage, and we plan on the same with shrink. I think we have the team to do it, okay, under Alicia's leadership. So more to come on net income. Let's move to cash.
Dennis, I'm sorry, would you mind just explaining what shrink is so people have?
Absolutely. I'm a geek, okay, so if you want to talk to 4 in the morning here, I can do it. But here's the deal, answer directly. What you have to do, you have to put retails on products, okay? Those chips up the front at 2 for $7. Walk in, 2 for $7. What were they built into the store? They were built into the store at $3.50, okay? Well, what happens if one of them breaks? It shrink. What happens if it gets to the front? Oh, and we kind of missed the scan. It shrink. Okay, so you got to go to the back door. You got to make sure everything's in the box. LA and our wellness department, we're talking about some serious dollars here. Okay, so the point is, somebody wants to have a little jar of that little jar that I like. Okay, that's $72. Okay, so here's the point. Big shrink. Okay, so what we need to do is put best practice in. Count it right at the back door, have it go through the system, right? Have turns, and turns that Dennis thinks, no, turns that are right for a $250,000 store, okay? This store should be turning inventory, I think it should be turning about once every 3 months, okay? So the point if it doesn't, you're gonna lose stuff. Take your produce department, we got Spreckle banana, you use it, and it goes to the bakery. You've already lost it, because you're not gonna get the full retail on it. Full retail on it at 69 cents a pound. If you only get 20 cents a pound on it, guess what? You lost, okay? And that difference will add up to shrink. I'll be reporting shrink at the board meetings by department, especially fresh. Fresh is where the shrink's at. That's the big #1 in LA's Department of Wellness, huge dollars. So we have to be, whoa, like eagle eyes on that one.
So, so shrink isn't just theft, but also was it classified as write-off? Is that?
Good, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
like-
how it used to be done? And-
Yeah, like,
But
exactly.
it wasn't like processed properly, like the write-off people just, you know,
I
you
think it
have
could
a
be.
broken egg in there and someone
Yeah.
can fill out the paperwork to do it.
Yeah, it could be. It could be, and all those processes, and I think the staff will tell you, because they've already taught me, starting with Alicia, the processes are fine. But I don't believe in the processes if you don't reduce the shrink, and if you don't even know what the shrink is. So I'm not a person who is going to count how many almonds I threw out or reduced. I'm more interested when I count it. I'm gonna go to count from the last time. I'm gonna tell you exactly what the dollar amount that we lost and a percentage. And then I'm gonna hit that to the benchmark of co-ops across the country, 150 of them. So we'll know precisely how we're performing. And if we're not performing, we're gonna freak out. We're not. We're gonna show people how to reduce shrink. And this team will do an amazing job. Okay? That help? Okay, and I love the questions. I also want to put it out there to you. I love the business. I don't think there's a part of this business after 48 years that I don't love talking about. So if you ever want to schedule a one-on-one, just go through some of these financials. Just tell me how much time. That's all I would say.
This idea, not to drag you back, but
Yes.
on net income, to only have a negative 6,000 on our P&L for the month after identifying and paying off vendors that would have been unpaid, that seems like a pretty positive number in my.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think we've already identified a number that's not that number. That's higher. And I'm not willing to put it on a piece of paper just yet, okay? So after the first quarter, then we'll know. And I think it'll be sooner than that, but let's just say it's the first quarter, and you precisely can know how much money the co-op's making or losing by department, if that makes sense. And remember, that's a part of the retail food business. I said this earlier today. It's not rocket science, but the deal is, and I was taught, I think at 21, there's a lot of moving parts. And it's how you control all those. And I think a lot of people do a great job on that. The one thing I like to be known for, people make the difference. And you gotta have people get those numbers. They don't just happen, so to speak. So I wouldn't worry about the minus 68. That's a pretty, estimate of how negative it could be. I think it's positive. I think we actually made money, okay?
Yes.
So it makes me really happy because the co-op does not need to make a lot of money to be highly successful at the EBITDA line. That's earnings before interest, tax, and depreciation. So, okay, so good pickup over there, member owner. Okay, are we good on that one? So net income, don't get too crazy. Sales is the number one thing we're guiding and growing, and we'll get to the other big ones next. Okay, let's talk cash. I'm not touching cash. I'm not even gonna touch a penny, but I will know the cash. I will know it daily. Right now, it's for security, we have an operating account and a petty cash. We won't have petty cash soon. Okay, less fingers in the pie, less accounts, more controls. So what I would tell you is right now, at the end of December, $1.5 million. That's what we have in the bank. Okay, that's between. We had some money in First Horizon. We moved it to Legacy at a higher interest. So we still have too much money in our operating account. We're going to change that. Okay, we're going to open up an account for alcohol. Just as an example, we're writing checks for alcohol when the vendor comes. That's not the way to do it. FinTech is the way to do it. They pick it out of that account. We don't write no checks. That really helps you with the alcohol tobacco license because they really love that. They really protect you on license. So look for that. That's already getting set up by Stephanie. That's one of the best practice I'm talking about. Okay. All right. Next. When you look on the right, where I put the green, that's how that as a board member, I think you should know. Green, we're good. Yellow, start getting a little nervous. Red, run, okay? Okay, ask Randy to make dinner, okay? I mean, that's when you get nervous on red, okay? A lot of co-ops across the country don't even know where they're at, okay? In this particular case, on net income, you see nothing. That's because I'm not comfortable with the number yet. Why am I not comfortable with the number? Because I don't believe we have $1.2 million in the store right now. I believe that we have south of 650,000 retail. If that's the case, we're going to get that number on the books on March 31. We're going to inventory this entire store. We're going to train the department heads how to inventory. We'll know exactly what that number is. And it's really not the first number, it's the second number that will be more important because that's when we'll be able to measure shrink, especially in the center store. Okay, center store would be homestead, grocery, dairy, frozen, wellness. Wellness got to come through for us, okay? All right, so that's that one, all right? How we doing, okay?
Yep.
Okay, all right, moving right along. Let's go to days of cash on hand. Yep, I think you should know how much cash you have and days of cash on hand. 617 days. That's a financially strong co-op, I can tell you that. Put that number up against co-ops across the country. I don't think you're going to see that. Okay. I have some issues with that. And I have some issues with that number being that high. And we're going to talk about that. Okay. Some of it is in the executive session. Okay. Next, accounts payable. So green, 1 to 30 days. Most of our terms are 30 days. Okay. Some of our terms are not even no terms. We don't have any terms. The vendor doesn't even have a term. So Stephanie and I are working on vendor by vendor terms. Okay. So you should be aware, there's nothing in the notes. We believe everyone is paid. Okay, so just so you know that. We ever talk money or cash, you can rest assured that taxes, insurance, I'm not talking about those because those are the first things out of Stephanie when she talks to me. Okay, so just so you know that. Next, labor as a percent of sales. December, 20.4%. That number is down from 22% in September of 2023. That number is not good enough, 20.43. I'm looking for around an 18 on a P&L of a size like this, and that's at 220. it gets to 250, that number will keep going down, okay? So just to kind of put that out there. And you see over to the right, it's blank, right? So white. That's because I haven't really set the budget to it yet. I think Alicia and I will be going through every line. We'll be going through every schedule. We'll be going through every department. Example, we have schedules. Schedules mean nothing. We need to know how many hours by department. Then we need to know the total. And then we need to take each one of those departments and divide how many hours we used into their sales. And that's what you call sales per labor hour. That's the KPI. That's the component that we're going to develop, teach the team. And we will not do a sales per labor hour that makes us happy. We will follow benchmarks at co-ops across the country. Okay, so that's one of my specialties. We will drive that one right where we need it to go.
Are there any roles that still need filled? Because I know when you first started, there's a lot of roles that were empty. Like, how is the, employee capacity?
We're going to that one next. How about that? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, we were not at 66 when I started. We're today at 84 this morning. Okay, so we don't have any roles we're looking for.
Yeah.
But Alicia, LA, and we're going to be re-engineering, restructuring the entire wellness department. It needs to be a differentiator, in my view, for this co-op and in this town. I think with LA and Alicia, I think we're going to have a heck of a department over there. Okay, so just kind of putting that out there. So that would be one we're looking at. Okay? We just hired someone, so I'll have to see who they are. We're interested in Fayetteville High School, just so you know, this IGM, and we're interested in the University of Arkansas. And we're not doing it right. So I'll be talking to you a little bit later on the University of Arkansas, Joshua, what we need, okay? Anyhow, if you're game, it's only if you're game. I'm just trying to give you ideas. You don't like the ideas?
I don't like to talk about the co-ops.
I get it. I love it. It's up to you, and the ideas drive our business. There's nothing, if you say, the board, no, we don't want to do that, you're the strategist, we're the executors, we're the operators, okay? All right, let's go to this though. The employee turnover, the industry standard right now, and that would be the Kroger Company, our largest retailer in the US, and Walmart. They're between 150 and 175% turnover, annualized turnover. They don't trade them very fast because they're gone, okay? You just need to know, since we started, we're at 4.9% annualized turnover. That's really our December number, okay? I think the current staff count, I told you it's 81, we just hired 3 more, so we're now at 84.
So just to clarify, that's down from 100%.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you look at our terminations, this will be on the dashboard each month, okay? And basically, we have 4. We had 2 voluntary, 1 resignation, and 1 unsatisfied. I just think it's really important, and Anne Marie's she's still on, right? Okay, it's really important for the board of directors, so I'm going to just put a poker chip out there to you, okay? Yeah, you can't change history. I can't change history. There isn't anything more important to me than the staff, okay, in a store. This is a really important part of the dashboard. It is not being written by the general manager. Not. It's being written by the HR manager, okay? So these are Anne Marie's numbers. Anne Marie will decide if on terminations, we'll go one by one. Anybody that's terminated here or leaves the business, better way to say, ends employment, we will have a discussion. That will be Alicia, Dennis, and Anne Marie. And we'll decide, why did they leave? What could we have done different? We have one particular person, I'll talk about that in executive session. I actually believe I could have done better. I hurt my wrist at a particular point. I think I could have done better to try to save that person from leaving. Alicia doesn't agree with me, and nor does Anne Marie. And I just think what you need to know, that's the GM you want. You want the GM that's going to keep trying. You want the GM that does not want anybody to leave the business, okay? Now, some people are going to leave the business. There's particular things, we'll talk about one in particular that happened today in the executive session. I won't talk about that publicly, but some people who steal and do some things that are just like way over the edge for our brand, they gotta go. It's the other ones that we're really interested in, okay, to change. So just putting that out there. That's Anne Marie a box. So I just want to make sure that's crystal clear. If you ever want to talk about that subject, I don't believe the GM should be doing the talking. I think that HR and staff treatment, that's the person who should be talking about it. Okay, just kind of putting that out there. That protects your transparency as a board, and that protects the staff. I think that's really important.
Dennis?
Yes.
One thing for you to bring to memory perhaps is,
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a policy for exit interviews, but I've found those are very helpful because supervisory staff can
Yeah,
evaluate
learn.
why this is leaving, but sometimes having the perspective of that person in writing.
Absolutely, and you should just be aware that since December 1st, exit interviews are in place. Okay, and there's one in particular that Anne Marie wouldn't call, so, okay. That's when you know that you don't need to call, okay? So just so you know that, and they're very valuable, that's how you learn about your business. And that's like I'm trying to say, my experience co-ops across the country, it's one store in most cases, and the GM is very protective. They have a shield. This particular GM here, Dennis, I have no shield. I will bleed on the table to keep a staff member, okay? And I will do whatever I got to do to keep them. And nobody quits us. That's good. That's how I go about that, okay? And we really haven't had that situation. I think we're cruising nicely. You look over to the trigger, green is 7%, yellow is 14, red is 21. Those are Dennis's standards. I haven't run a co-op or a store or a region. It's been a long while that I've ever seen anything over 10. I just don't put up with it, okay? And that's because you do exit interviews, you learn about who you're developing. It's not about you, it's about the team. And that's kind of how I go about it, okay? So kind of putting that up. Okay, community engagement. We have a lot going on there, and we'll talk about that here next, what's happening with our marketing staff, okay? All right, you have, some people like graphs. Joshua will love this. You know, Leslie, and you know Thing, God, they love graphs. So there you go. There's your graphs. I'm not a graph guy, but there you go. Okay. So you got your sales and your cash. Okay. Every Friday, Stephanie and I will always be looking at our cash balances. It's kind of like, what's going on here? Okay. What's happening? Is there any money slipping? Okay. And right now, the money is actually staying stable. When the money stays stable on cash, I'm not saying it's true yet, need a little bit more time, but if it's staying stable, that means you're not losing money. So back to your point, I don't think we lost money in December because our actually cash has gone up about 100,000. Okay, I can't tell you exactly that number just yet. I need a couple more months. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next one. Here's the sheet, board of directors. What the heck is the plan for Ozark Natural Foods? Here it is, 10 points. I'm gonna move fast, okay? But number one, culture, that's how we started. We put in monthly all-hands staff meetings. The next one is this Friday, okay? Next is training and development. Anne Marie is so excited. We had to hire Dominic, right? Dominic? Our training and development will begin here shortly. September 18th, I think we began the culture shift, okay? I've asked Anne Marie to do a poll, another survey on how Dennis is doing. Okay, so I'm not looking to hear everything positive. I'm looking to hear everything positive, make me happy. I want to find a nugget or two of something I can work on. Okay, I have no concept of a clock, and that's something that I'm going to work on. Okay, so I'm just kind of putting that out there, and the staff know that. Okay, I love the business too much. Okay, next, November 2023, change of organizational structure. Oh my gosh, between Anne Marie and Alicia, I'm telling you, we've got two professionals here. I've never seen an organizational structure. We have moved everybody in this store, and department heads are in place. I'm just so proud of what they pulled off and the team, okay? The level of patience, wow. Poor some of these department heads, some are in the room, some aren't. Oh my God, they've had people moving and going, and boy, it's really good. Our produce department is going to be really exciting here to see what the store's going to look like in the front. So this is one example. Okay, training and development programs are coming. March 1st will be our kickoff. I think Anne Marie will probably go sooner. Anne Marie was explaining this morning that she will be polling the staff on what they want to be developed on. Okay, and I think one of the items we'll talk about here shortly on the next page. Okay, now this is quick. Lowering cost of goods. We're paying too high a price. For some of the products, we can buy the same product at a different place. We have a contract now with Grocers Supply. It's in place. We've been approved. We'll be buying we'll be buying meat, seafood, produce, floral, and garden. We'll start the first deliveries from them next week, okay? We will not do anything with our product specifications and standards. There'll only be one person that everybody will have to go through, the department heads, and that will be Alicia, okay? So don't expect us to bring in conventional corn, okay, as an example. That'll have to be approved by Alicia, okay? And it's another subject I want to talk about here in a little bit. But you just need to know, yeah, that supply agreement's in place. Grocery Dairy Frozen will be next. I suspect within the 2 weeks that one will be able to buy products. What will we do? We have to be very careful on the center store products because of the contract with Unified. Okay, so just kind of putting that out there. Produce floral reset. We'll be adding new product assortment. We've just been kind of having fun. I've been wanting to make sure that the produce team had it, and we had the capability to do what I want to do next. I don't know if some of you know this. I worked in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Dubai. And I put 60 stores and produce together for Tamimi Markets. If you ever want to look at Tamimi Markets, their third family to the prince, I would tell you that's the produce department we're going to build here. It's going to have umbrellas. I think you're going to see less lights. You're going to see the spotlights that were put in use. It's going to be more of a European look. I think you're going to really love it. Okay, so that's coming. Next is our deli kitchen, end of February. We're okay. We made a lot of progress. That's because we hired some staff. That was where we were really short. But we want to do a lot better, okay? I think, you know who Central Market is? They're in Texas. That's the deli self-serve that we're looking to get. I think that we can do it, okay? We have the staff now in place. But now we're going to take it to the next step. Next, meat, seafood. I don't think NCG is into meat and seafood. But you have somebody that grew up in a family meat business, 18 butcher shops. Dennis believes in meat. We're doing about 8,000 a week. We want to do 20. We can get the meat department up to 20. This store's going to move to 250 real fast. When you buy meat, center of plate, you buy other things, okay? What are we going to do? Full-time butcher? No, we're going to start with 20 hours a week. Someone on the floor cutting. Heather, I don't know how much of you know Heather, but she's special. She'll be demoing and she'll be helping us promote the department on Fridays and Saturdays, okay? So I'm excited about how that's coming. We have a reset that we're going to do. NCG has helped us. Even the person that works there, his name is Dan Hine. I've known him for almost 16 years now. He's one of the sharpest meat guys in the country, and he's kind of doing it on the QT. So don't talk too much about NCG and meat seafood. We're going to show them a $30,000 department, and then they're going to find out how good we really are, okay? Next, the wellness department, March, April, I'm giving LA some time, okay? This week we have a 30% 72-hour sale on wellness. Will be on personal care and supplements. There'll be some exclusions. Can't say the exclusions because I'll get in trouble. So I won't do that. Look for us to pick up our dollars. Last week we lost about $12,000 due to weather. So we're not playing here. You gotta have dollars. And wellness and bulk food are the two departments that'll get that for us. So I just want to get us back positive. That 12,000 we might have lost. Okay. Next, our center store reset to be determined. I think we're just going to get these other departments first. Click, 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 and then we'll go right into grocery, dairy, frozen. Things are already happening because you move so much product from the back to the floor. If you walk through our back room, you'll see that we have a bulk food issue. We got too much stock, so we're going to handle that one. But all the groceries are on the floor. That's kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. Looks pretty good on that floor. Not so good, in my opinion, because of the wrong products. I need to get rid of the products that we don't want, get the products that the customers in Fayetteville want. Okay, so, and yes, we'll be picking off Whole Foods, and yes, we'll be picking off neighborhood markets. I got a call again from Walmart. They're not happy with me. But I just want to let you know that's coming. Customer service, vibe, that's what I'm about. Get them fired up. Sometimes you got to talk less, right, Veronica? Sometimes you got to get them smiling, but quit talking, okay? I love this team. You just need to know that. It's not a good team. I love this team. They got the vibe, okay? And I just want to make sure that you understand, we have a customer survey in progress. We also have a member owner survey in progress. We have two. I'll be presenting that at the board here, probably, I think, February or March. Okay, let's move to marketing and advertising. The new program, 72-hour sale. began December 29th. We're in the fourth one? What can I say? Senate loves 72-hour sales. There's nobody, there was no customers in this store Friday night, especially Saturday and Sunday. It was light. There was not a lot of management, if that's fair. Okay, and I'm talking higher level management, okay, not department level and down. We changed all that. Alicia's changed all the schedules. The department heads are excited, okay, and guess what? We got customers. The 72-hour sales, it usually takes a couple months, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. It came out the first week and nailed it. The bulk food was amazing. It was a 96-hour sale. And somebody said, why do you do a 96-hour sale? Well, that's because I read the weather and I only knew I was only gonna get 2 days. Okay, and the dollars there, bulk food was up 75%. I didn't even have 2 days, okay, just saying. So get ready, bulk foods is gonna come back. We're gonna be repositioning bulk food. A few weeks, we're gonna move the peanut butter, or the butters. We're gonna move them to the wall. We're gonna turn the display fixtures around. We're gonna lower it so you can see the beautiful bulk fixtures that you bought in the past. So I'm excited to see that. It's the #1 customer feedback from Sprouts Farmers Market across the country. 350 stores. They just did another survey. And guess what the #1 thing? They love the store because when they walk in, they can see the whole store. So that's what we need to do with our bulk foods. I think you'll see another department, there's probably $5,000 to $10,000 a week that we're not getting today because you can't even see it. It looks dead back there. So anyway, more to come on that one. We're finalizing our 2024 marketing plan. Lisa and I are already underway. We have a rough draft, but the February board meeting will be presenting that. Okay. All right, next, IT. Assess and audit existing IT systems, February, March. Just want to share, this is something that the board and executive session, Randy, you could just kind of share. A general manager usually has limits, you can spend X. I don't think this one is really classified. This is a $2,900 expenditure with a flight and one room. It's a two-day visit. The person I've worked with, he's worked at 3 co-ops for me. I want every computer in here assessed. I want our entire front end assessed. I want credit card protected from all of our member owners. It could be protected. It might not be protected. It could be protected. I don't know. We'll go make sure it's protected. Okay. Our HR files, we got a lot of people that have left the co-op, if that makes sense. So that's another one that needs to get secured. I'm not saying it's not secured. I'm not confident. I need a third party to really tell me. Okay. And so Charles Newton is his name. We'll be doing that expenditure. Again, we can talk about executive session, how much I can and can't spend. Okay. But the plan there is third party as needed. So if we need them, we bring them in. We put a person in. Adam is our IT coordinator, and he'll be helping Adam and train and develop Adam. So anyway, I'm excited about that. I think on IT takes care of that. And let's go to the last one. It really helps with all of the board policies. Okay, so the ends policy. I think Joshua is just the guy, if Randy will allow me, to talk about all of our board policies and get my dashboard really aligned, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I think I'm 70% there, but there's a couple I want to make sure I get it right. Right? What did you say?
I told my volunteers.
Oh, please, thank you. Okay, we'll have fun. Okay, number B1, financial conditions, activity, focusing on moving sales to 250. That's our goal. I don't think that's the final goal, just putting that out there, okay? 250 puts us in a completely different spot, just putting that out there, okay? That's $50,000 increase. That's over $2 million a year annualized. Somebody's going to lose some money with the next 25,000, just putting that out there, okay? I know the Whole Foods numbers. I know their weekly volume is not doing good. I'm hoping Rogers opens quick. And I'm hoping this one has a new exit to Rogers, okay? So anyway, I got my fingers crossed on that one, we'll see. Number 2, if you said what's the top 4 Ozark Natural Foods initiatives, no surprise to anybody in this room, culture, number 1, won't change, okay? We're hell-bent to make sure it's right, okay? It's not the GM's culture, it's the staff's culture. And just so you know how this is working, Lisa is marketing director. She works all the programs. I don't tell her what to do. She's doing it. In our operations, it's Alicia. Alicia's the boss. Dennis is the assistant. I'm just walking around figuring out what everybody needs to get up to the next level. Anne Marie's going to come behind with training and development, which is number 2. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be really fun to watch this team. Number 3, lower cost of goods. Good retailers, good KPI. What are you doing to lower cost of goods? I was the board of directors. That's what I'd be asking the GM. Okay, and grocery supply is going to lower the cost of goods. There's no doubt about it. Okay, number 4, merchandising of total store. That's my sweet spot. I love merchandising. So I know poor Alicia here is going nuts, but more to come on that one. Okay, next would be planning and budgeting. Yeah, we're not really planning and budgeting because we don't even know what we got here yet. Okay, as soon as I get those financials, plan on it. Okay, I just got to know what our gross margin is so I can make some smart business moves. Number 3, asset protection. Time to take physical inventories. The first one I told you on March 31. You just need to know that's a savings of $6,000 a quarter or $24,000 annually. We spend $9,700 in September just to count the store, and I don't have any results, and I don't believe the numbers. Okay, so we'll have professional people doing it. Why do I like it? Do I like the savings of $24,000 annually? Heck no. I like it because the staff has less stress. Nobody likes to take inventory, okay? There's something the matter with you if you like to take inventory, okay? First, fresh inventory, March 31. I think that's gonna be really fun to show you what we're gonna be doing there. Learning about shrink, taking action to reduce. Membership owners, I was talking about that. I'm having a really great time with them, okay? They're really fun. I think what's really fun is for people to sit down with me and tell me how bad the board is. And then by the time we're done talking, I might convince them, don't be so hard on them. Okay? The board of directors doesn't run the store. The GM does, okay? And the directors and the managers, okay? So I'm just letting you know that's the message. I'm loving the conversations, okay? We got one of the best member owners sitting in this room tonight, okay? So I'm just letting you know that. It's really important that we cherish them and cherish the board. And I know the staff is with me to help there. So next, customer service. Training the staff on what customer experience is. I don't think we know that just yet. That's the vibe. You got first get the vibe right? They can't hate everything you're doing. Interested in relationship versus transactional experiences for the customer. Anne-Marie and I believe that's the number one thing. It just so happens your board president thinks the same. So I think that's kind of a cool deal. And that's when you go to the register and you buy your bread and it's great, and you get it, and they say, thank you, and that's it. Not good enough. You know, it should be, hi, Ken, nice to see you tonight. That's a hell of a cool bracelet you got on. Where did you get it? And then you have a conversation, you know, so you kind of get into that. This is how retail, you know, that's how you make your mark. That's the differentiation. Whole Foods is my favorite thing. There's a friend I have, he's in Austin, Texas. He's VP of operations. I tell him every time I go in the store, and it's just so fun. I come out now and I text him, yeah, did it again. Nobody talked to me. Okay, Whole Foods. They were the best retailer in the country, not this one. Okay, so yeah, what a friend. Yeah, it's fun. It's too fun. So anyways, just so you know that. Okay, next, staff treatment and compensation. This is disciplinary process. Just discuss. We're not taking any disciplinary action on performance. We develop. So I'm not interested in somebody being 6 minutes late and getting written up. I don't believe in that. I'll just give them a blank schedule and tell them to write their schedule. So they're not late, okay? It's 2024, okay? New world, okay? And I don't know if you have kids. I don't know their ages. I can just tell you my 2 kids are 32 and 30. I don't care about them no more. It's their 2 wives. One's 25 and one's 29. It's a new day. If you think that you can treat them like you treated everybody 10, 15 years ago, that's fine. You'll have 150 to 175% turnover. That's not it, okay? So you gotta develop them. You gotta make sure they believe that's what you're trying to do. Again, I'm not into politically correct, I'm into genuine, okay? And I make plenty of mistakes daily, right, Alicia? Aaron? Plenty, okay. All right, so working on the BIPOC percentages for our community. Dennis definitely believes in that, so I'm sorry if that insults anybody. I don't like our numbers, and they're continuing to improve. We've increased already by 15% since September, just so you know that. I'm very proud of that. What's that?
Is that customers or?
No, that's employees. Yep. And that's a great question you just asked. Because you get the employees right, that's what happens to the customers. then they come as well, and all your numbers improve. We are about inclusion, we are about belonging, and we're about training and development. That's where we're headed, and that's our focus. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in an executive session. Communication to the board, just want to make sure it's clear. Weekly, Friday, I'm going to send you the sales and just a couple of brief updates. I get a little long sometimes, okay? If there's anything that's danger, Randy will get a phone call or text, okay? So just so you know that. I'm not seeing anything here I haven't seen before. I'm looking for the first time, okay? Except things that maybe Brooke keeps mentioning to me that I'm missing, okay? So I'm still learning, Brooke, but I'm getting there. Okay. Next, communication to the board that monthly we'll send the GM dashboard P&L balance sheet. I think it was late this time, so I apologize. The board meeting's on a Tuesday. I plan to send it to you on a Friday. Okay, so you have the weekend to look at it. The numbers, it'll get much stronger with the financials. That's the one I want to make sure. That's why I waited, because I was a little scared to put the number on the P&L, on the income, and Stephanie and I adjusted it to a more real conservative number, which I'm not. Okay, so just putting that out there. Okay, last, the board logistical support. Yeah, I'm looking for anybody on the board that would like to just kind of mention, would like to help me. I want a partnership with University of Arkansas. My idea here soon, which is not just yet, I'm cooking, Randy, I am cooking. I want a delivery service into the University of Arkansas. I don't know that we're going to sell them spring water, okay? I think we're going to sell them kitchen, okay? And I want to get food being delivered in the University of Arkansas. I want to get more traffic of those students into this store, okay? And so anyway, so anybody would like to do it, I would love to take you to lunch and really have you help us, okay? We've got some good ideas. We've already identified a person to take that online shopping. I want to get some, what do you call it, some kiosks. So the customer can walk in, go shopping, come back around, a bag of their meal, and they're ready to go, okay? Almost like a Chipotle is the one I think does it the best. So I've done that in 2 places. This kitchen can be screamer. I think it'd be really good. And then I deliver it. Yes, we would want to hire we would want to hire people to deliver it. Oh, interesting. University of Arkansas students. That's what I want. Okay. And I've already taken a ride twice now with 2 students. They're doing Amazon and Walmart, so I know what they're getting paid. I know what how they're treated. Awful. Hell, we're going to get them a meal. We're going to have them have a beverage. They're going to die to be working here as a delivery person. So anyway, just putting it out there, again, differentiation. Okay, last thing I had, Randy, I always like to put nice to knows. This is not a financial thing, it's something nice to know. We're really proud of the appointment of Alicia. I can tell you, I won't get goosebumps, but she's doing a hell of a job. I'm doing one-on-ones with my 3 direct reports. That'd be Lisa, Anne Marie, and Alicia. I can tell you right now, I don't think I have ever seen a person in operations go from the role that Alicia was in into the role. She was a dead right pick. She knows this team so good, and it's so fun. The conversation with some of the managers, great. I can think of one particular person. It's a blast. I'm having a blast. He's worried about me every single night. That name would be Gordon. Gordon works here at night. He does a lot of cleanup. And we keep telling Gordon, you're not going to clean up no more. Let everybody else clean up after themselves. And it's Alicia. Alicia has a great following in this store. And it's so important. So sometimes you might get credit to this person, that person. An operations manager we got here, we are really lucky. Okay, so again, great job, Miss Alicia. Okay. All right. Done, Randy. How'd I do? Oh my God, I went fast.
That was a lot of information.
A lot of information.
I will take just a pause to ask if any of the board members have a question or a reflection or a comment based on what was shared with you. It's a lot of information, and we're going to continue to go through this, but does anybody have a comment, a question, or a comment?
I just have a quick question. So as you go through this, you're setting up all these best practices, putting together a binder or something for the new person that comes in and takes over so we don't lose all this?
What a question. I have to tell you, Randy and I had this discussion. It's really important that my sweet spot is to go in, turn around, And my sweet spot is to watch the team with the same team and then watch how they excel. Okay, it's just that is why I'm doing this. Okay, 1, 2. I'm not building this for Dennis. I'm building this for anybody. Okay. 3rd is I call it the Bible. I didn't call it the Bible. The first board president was in New York. You got to get me the Dennis Bible. And so that's what I'll be producing, okay? So go practice by practice, and all the department heads, guess what? They're the ones that will help me write it, okay? I hate policies, I hate books, okay? I like videos, I like movies, and I like to actually have them just do it and keep improving. But yes, it'll be all there. One thing, Randy, is it okay? I just addressed one question I didn't answer earlier.
Yeah.
I wanted to answer your question on the bakers. We have, I think, the best bakery manager in the country. Her name is Mac. She's about as creative as you're gonna get. You're gonna buy things out of this bakery you're not gonna see nowhere. I think Rick's is okay. It's not.
It was a fight word, in certain corners of this area.
I think
so-
it's good as where we're going, okay? Now, we're gonna do some high volume items to your, something you might have heard. That would be muffins, brownies and cookies. We're gonna do it so it's to our specs. Does that make sense? But I think it's important you know that we had 1 bakery person when I started. We now have 5. And I don't care if we have 20, okay? We will beat that one down the street, trust me, okay? And remember though, it's really important, and the person knows it. Our bakery manager is treated like nobody else. It's red carpet, okay? Why is that? When you have Picasso, you make sure Picasso gets treated different than Donald Trump. Okay, better do something different. Does that make sense? And we got somebody really special. So I'm just sharing. That bakery team could be real big, and I love baking. So get ready.
Where are we sourcing the high volume mixes from?
Right now it's all where.
We haven't completed research on that yet. The cookies will be Sweet Lauren, which is a brand that we carry on the shelf. And then we're looking into a brownie, like a pre-made brownie mix if possible to find, but we're probably not going to have to do that with our scones or muffins, because we prep a lot of those ahead of time. It's mostly just if we can get enough volume made to have it ready to go all the time.
So will all the cookies be gluten-free then?
Some of them will be and some of them won't. We can never promise anything is gluten-free that comes out of our kitchen, so we don't put that on anything, because we don't want anybody to get sick. And we're not a gluten-free kitchen, no matter if we try our best. It's pretty impossible, so.
Anybody else have a question?
I love the format. I love how clear it
It
is.
is.
I mean, green, good, like.
Jasmine, don't tell Leslie our thing. Don't do it.
So this is great.
Good. It'll get stronger too. That front page, especially the income statement, that's the one.
And I do appreciate the benchmarks that, you're helping develop for this store, not just,
Yeah.
the tree,
Yeah.
red, green, yellow, or in general, but
Yeah.
for this store, what's healthy for us? And I mean,
Yeah.
that's helpful, just kind of know.
Yeah, and I think the only trigger I'm uncomfortable, I'm just putting it out there, is on the turnover. That's Dennis Stennett. And I wouldn't do that to any GM, okay? So that trigger might change.
Make it a standard.
Yeah, because I won't put up with somebody leaving me, that's good, the bottom line.
Yeah.
Wish we could talk the whole time about these numbers and what we're seeing so far is incredible. So just great job to the team. It's amazing. So,
But they're doing an amazing job.
yeah.
Alicia.
Josh, do you have any questions?
No, I have a question.
Any, you're good? Okay.
On B6 with recruitment on BIPOC percentages for our community, what does recruitment look like for that?
I'm scoping Fayetteville.
Yeah.
I have no, we could take that number up another 15 to 20% right now. So I can tell you where they're at, what stores they're at. And don't get too close to people at Rick's, okay? Because I know them all, okay? So I guess what I'm trying to say, recruitment, I don't believe recruitment is Indeed. This is my own opinion. I don't see recruitment as career fairs. I think recruitment is go out and talk to them.
Do we still do the open interviews?
We are going to end the career fair open interview process because we are fully staffed pretty much right now. Just for HR to be able to focus on other things. We're always going to be accepting applications. We have that set up in the tap room area, and then we'll also always have them at the member service desk.
Gotcha.
You know, another thing that's really good, what you're saying is, you know, it might sound fluff, that we were looking at the staff that used to work here, come see me, come talk to me, I'm interested in talking to them. We've hired 12. We hired, just so you know that. And there's some particular names, we will rehire, we won't rehire. And who guides me? The managers. So the right people are back. There's one particular person, I'm just putting it out there, and the first name is Max in our produce department. Wow. Just keep your eyes on Max and what Max does. Right now, it's customer service in produce. That's how you do recruiting. You don't do recruiting by Indeed, in my opinion. You don't do it in career fairs. You do it with the staff, the happy staff who knows people that are good. And that's really our recruitment. That's really what it's turned to, I believe.
And I think with BIPOC, one of the most effective ways to integrate more diversity in our staff is to integrate more diversity in our consumers and, you know, so bringing more people of differing backgrounds and ethnicities into our store, then they become interested and they participate more in the process and perhaps bring a skill to us that we desperately need.
Absolutely. What a great point. And my personal opinion, Randy's guided me, you all guided me, the co-op, that's what it's all about. Some stores are doing it because it's politically correct. Co-ops do it because it's the right thing to do. Two different ways of thinking. And I think that the people that you do hire, I'm talking about, doesn't matter what walks of life, doesn't matter. Race does not matter at all. It just matters that they know you're genuine. Watch the difference. Anyway, I'm excited.
Thank you very much for that. All right, let's, so the only thing you didn't mention was B9, sustainability. Would you mind just going ahead and presenting that real quick?
God, this board president got me busy, doesn't he? Okay. Okay, so basically on our sustainability, we have the document. I sent that to you. Basically, you know, the mission statement, there's nothing that's changed, okay? There's things that we went through, Lisa and I, through the report. I cannot lie. I have to tell it straight up, okay? And I would just tell you that be very cautious when somebody says something that sounds too good to be true on sustainability. And it's kind of hard to tell you that all of our packaging example is perfect because we run out of packaging and we have to buy something we don't want, okay? So just kind of putting that out there. But we do have recycling, glass cans and bottles. 2023, we maintain existing programs, plastic, aluminum, glass recycling through the city of Fayetteville. We diverted 780 recycling totes from the landfills. So again, nice. When you start looking at co-ops across the country, they don't even know what I'm talking about, because I called too, just to kind of run through our report, just kind of curious. We currently sell our cardboard bales to a company that recycles them. We make 8 to 12 cardboard bales a month. There's between 96 and 100 commercial cardboard bales being kept out of landfills. Again, you have a copy of this for the board of directors, but just for the minutes. Plastic, we can continue to not carry plastic bags. We have no intention of doing that, except we really don't like our bags that don't have a little tote on the top, okay? It's kind of hard to carry a bag if it doesn't have that. Our plastic bales are picked up approximately 12 times per year. Our food loops, we have continued our food loops program, process compostal packaging, food scraps into nutrient-rich compost, put back into the earth. Wow, this had to be Lisa to write this. Packaging included in the program is all tap room packaging, over 50% of our kitchen packaging. So we're going to continue to do that. We have, I believe, an issue with our utensils. We should all be bamboo, and it should be like a dispenser. So we'll work on that. Farmhand data from the beginning of the farmhand program, we've raised $207,900 to date. 2023, we raised $42,000 for 3 local farms with 4th farm in progress, and we listed Lightner Farms at $28,000, Apple Seeds $6,500, Rooted Sourdough at $8,400, And in progress, the Snuggle Bug Farms. I bet you'd like that one. That's 6,800, and their goal is 25,000. Co-op commutes, incentivize people to use alternative modes of transportation. We continued our co-op commutes program. With this program, customers can tell cashiers they use alternative transportation. They receive perks that change monthly. I think we can do a better job on that, and we will. Current building sustainability efforts in place. Solitudes. Thank you. In place throughout the store for natural light. We're going to turn on some of these lights. We got some of the most beautiful spotlights, and we're not using them to the full effect. So get ready for produce. You have lights over above, and then you have the spotlights. There's one over above. We're just going to pull the light bulbs, and you're going to see a whole different look. It's going to make it look real high quality. Okay. Upgraded compressor, condenser rack, energy efficient. It doesn't heat recommendation, preheats water before it goes to the water heater. We're all freezing to death, so we're doing good there. Our HVAC system has a higher SEER rating, which is energy efficient rating. Not a lot of co-ops have that, just putting that out there. That's the one I was interested in. All lighting throughout the store is LED. We have low flush toilets. In the restrooms, I won't get into too much of that, but they're very slow. Okay. Our patio and parking lot have all native plants to the state and region. We finished concrete floors, reduced the material use when remodeling, when you guys did that. So I almost sound like I did that, but just kind of putting that out there. And the sustainability with the solar array. So backup generator, rainwater reclamation system. Lafayette side of the parking lot will be turned into a permanent cultured garden. So I think we're doing all the right things there.
You're submitting that to the board?
Yes, I submit that to the board.
Okay, all right. Does anybody have any questions?
Regarding the composting in the dining area, I have always found that process to be confusing and a lot of work on the consumer's part. Is there any, and I haven't been over there today, over the last couple of days, so you may have changed something, but is there
confidence?
Is there any process that's changing or updated in that? Because it's like, okay, if it has the red label, then you put it here, and then the black label here, and then like, oh, recycling goes over here, and then you don't know where to put the trash, and
I got you.
how do we make that process easy for customers, but also making it effective for Food Loops?
Well, why don't I just share this with you? We will take a look at the entire area, and then I'll report on the next board meeting.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, because we haven't got there. Just
Okay.
straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's really important. You know it, answer it. You don't know it, and the questions that you said, I'm confused myself, but I need to get into the detail too.
I'm always hoping for the best when I'm over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna put you on camera next time.
Those are people who really want to support the process.
Yeah.
We can't figure it out.
Yeah.
I always say pictures.
Yeah.
Give me pictures. So, oh, this is that kind of container.
We'll work on that.
I will say the recycling signage is much clearer than it used to be.
Yeah,
Good.
absolutely.
And the move towards the far wall, that flow is much better.
That's genius. It's
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
better. That room has a different feel since it's on that back
Yeah.
wall, so.
Good.
Yeah, I was here for the music over the weekend, and it so helped the music to not have the disruption of the
Yeah.
recycling
Nice.
close to where
Yeah.
it came from.
Good.
Nice.
Okay, and I want to thank you, Lisa, for pulling that whole report together on behalf of Dennis, so thank you for that. So I think that's one example of kind of giving them that to do different ones on staff, so I think that's really good.
And I would like to bring up these ideas, because these have been sitting here since.
Yeah, that's our future, I guess, right?
The new GM comes in play. I would love to have like a presentation of, hey, just so you know, these are some ideas we can work towards. They've been goals that have been here for years.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know, that's the part that I'm most interested in, is how do we go about initiating whoever is chosen as the new GM, because there's just so much history and
Yeah, I think the GM search process, I think, just my personal opinion, I love working with Melanie, who you selected. There's a whole process, and she knows I love that process. So I think that could be real involved with that if you like. So
I have to leave, but is this being recorded?
It is, yeah.
Great, could someone send me the recording?
It will, yeah, it should, when are we gonna, we're gonna put it up, right?
We can put it on YouTube.
But also change perfect, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming, we appreciate it, good to see you. Okay, would anybody like to make a motion?
I make a motion, we accept the B9 as presented.
Second, okay. All in favor of accepting B9? Aye, the ayes have it, 9-0. Thank you very much for that. All right, we had one item that we voted on electronically outside of the, since the last board meeting, and that was the board compensation electronic vote, so I wanna.
The language here.
Yeah, you wanna go ahead?
And I will say I'm going to tweak the language a little bit because I miswrote it when I submitted it. Thank you all for accepting the language, but I'm going to tweak it a little bit. And so if it's all right with you, I'll ask for another vote. Sure. Because I'm doing it in the language a little bit. So,
Hey Joshua, can I say one thing?
yeah.
I just want to thank the staff. Thank you for coming, okay?
Great job.
Have a good night.
Thanks so much.
The staff got to
Thank you
get
so
sleep.
much.
Gotta take care of their vibe.
So.
Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, so as the language that I would suggest would go, per the compensation change approved by ONF membership in September 2022, I move, that was me, I made the motion electronically, that the board adopt the following proportional approach to divide the amount of the unused 2023 board budget, $11,399. And that proportional approach would be 2 to 1.5 to 1. This reflects that a total of 11 portions will be divided so that the president receives 2 portions, the vice president and secretary treasurer each receive 1 1/2 portions, and each of the other directors receives 1 portion each. Furthermore, the stipend should be dispersed in 1 lump sum in order to ease the impact of monthly disbursements on co-op energy. The resulting approximate amounts for stipends are: director, $1,036 $1.27. Secretary VP, $1,554.40. President, $2,072.54. And as submitted electronically, it was approved 8 in favor, 1 abstain, but I would make that motion again now, and that's where you do it.
Okay, we make the motion.
Yeah?
Okay.
So,
Can I get a second? Okay, second, okay. All in favor of voting for this? Vote here in person? So
I'm still gonna abstain
Okay.
because I'm so new.
Okay, that's fine.
Because it's from the 2022 budget and then 2023, I don't know.
No, it's a 2023 budget.
It's 2023 budget.
Right.
yeah, it's a 23 budget based on a 2022 decision.
Okay, well, then I'll go for it.
Yeah, you're good.
I thought it was from last year's money that I was.
No.
That was my main misunderstanding, was that I wasn't a member of the board when the budget was used or not.
Now, you have to perform.
Yeah.
But I'll
Score
say.
food.
So you know you're voting for it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
That's-
9-0. No, I figured as much, but,
So it passes?
so it passes.
And just a side note, we do have an existing opinion from our lawyers that electronic votes have to be unanimous. So I was gonna have to review
Oh,
it. And I mentioned it already, that I was concerned that we did have an extension.
Oh, that was your concern, because you didn't mention that other part.
Well, I was just reading it, I was like, ooh, I got that wrong.
Okay.
Because when I wrote it and sent it to y'all, I said per the bylaw amendment, it wasn't a bylaw amendment, it was a vote put to the ownership. And so I had the wrong language.
Josh, will you remember me all that language?
Yep, I'm gonna send it to you. Yep.
Perfect. Because I had sent you the original one, didn't I, Stephanie? You don't think so? Okay, all right. I'm sorry if I didn't, so. All right, so the vote was 9-0 on that. Thank you.
Good to know I'm a lawyer as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be unanimous.
Did you talk to T then, or?
Oh, no, that was an opinion that we received when we changed the bylaws to 2015, so that's just the way our bylaws are actually written, that an electronic vote has to be unanimous.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's in the manual too.
Mhm.
It's in the board manual that way.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, reports, real quick. Why don't we go through Canon Perpetuation Committee?
Yep. Let me see here. Had a good discussion on January 18th with our last committee session, so last week. We talked about the candidate timeline for 2024, which I did send everyone today, updated at least the dates on those timelines. We also talked about needing to confirm the current board members who would potentially be an incumbent this year. I have those three people as Josh, Leanne, and Tony. I've yet to speak to them directly on their intentions, but that's part of my process. We also spoke on the annual members meeting for this year and went through pretty good detail there, but came out of there with some action items. So to go back to the beginning, what I sent you all earlier, I also added this timeline into the ONF board terms sheet that Jacob had initially set up, and I've edited that document and kind of broken it up so we can see it a bit more clearly. March 1st is a Monday, is our, what we propose to be the call for nominations. So we'll kick that event off then. Last year around April 4th, we had a happy hour, which was kind of a Q&A session with the board. I don't know if that was I don't know if that was connected to outreach or not as well at that time. It just seems kind of like one of those type of things, but I have that around April 4th, so about a month after kickoff. May 10th being the deadline for those applications, which is the Friday. That's about a month after that. Then following week, we would begin some candidate interviews, so giving ourselves a little bit of time to review any of those. And then submit the slate of candidates to the board at May 28th, so at the end of May. And then after that, we begin the marketing bits for those candidates. We spoke some in detail on the annual members meeting, but not to go through that too far. I did send an email on that one as well, that just to round out and reflect on what we've gathered so far on our thoughts for the annual members meeting this year. Any feedback via email would be great on that because we want to gather as much detail. Our next actions is to meet with Lisa and Heather. I know Lisa has needed some personal time, but I'd love to get with them really soon, especially to talk about budget. And one of the biggest things we need to do as a board is to talk about the budget for the annual members meeting this year. I don't know exactly the best process to go for us to put that forward, but we do need more detail to even make that decision. Especially think about costs have gone crazy the last several years, especially since 2019. Just things aren't the same. As far as events go, those costs have risen on a 20-25% annual basis. And so we would foresee that budget would be a lot more just because all that stuff is a lot more, especially things like AV and rentals and stuff. I don't know if there's anything much more specifically on the members meeting that I didn't send via email. So I think that covers perpetuation.
Right. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Outreach. Any?
So one of the things that was brought up last meeting was to see if we can start getting more things on our general calendar so everybody's aware of dates that are coming up. And Leanne, thank you for doing that. You're great with that. Next thing is this Thursday morning, 8:45, breakfast with the board. We're gonna have scones, we're gonna have some small treats. We're also gonna have the hot bar available if anybody wants to buy breakfast, but it's just for us to talk and hang out.
I've actually had some friends already ask me about it, so people actually know about it.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Is everybody going to make that?
Appreciate
Yeah, I'll be there.
You'll be there? Okay. Cannon, can you
Yeah,
make
I'm
that?
there.
Jake, no, you're not making it. Yeah, I'm in Rogers. I'm sorry. Will you be there, Danny?
Yep.
I know where you work, so.
Yeah, I'm close. Can you make it over there?
So there should be no. Nick, you can be over there? Yeah, it's okay.
I'll play your.
Okay, cool. You
I would love to. I might be able to.
Okay,
It's unlikely.
okay.
Sounds really good. Fresh.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think there's any blueberry lemon ones though.
Yeah.
Is this typically during the week?
What's that?
Is this typically during the week morning thing?
This is breakfast.
This is new.
Okay.
The dinner.
We're trying to do, one of each, like an early one and a late one.
Yeah, way back in the day.
or go back.
Saturday morning.
We did a Saturday recently.
Yeah.
I thought
We did
that
the
was
Saturday
successful.
one.
Yeah, I was at
I'll be in Florida.
I think maybe, I mean, I'm not opposed opposed to doing, to making one a Saturday and one a weekday.
PGA show.
Because that would be,
Nickel
that way we
Ribbon,
can make sure we
Sarasota.
include everybody.
Maybe
Yeah.
One in the spring, maybe,
I would do
on a Saturday.
Just something to
He is,
think
I'm not
about,
right.
so.
Yeah, I was going to turn out too, because
Good to know.
members might
I'll
also
keep that
not be
in
able to
mind.
access. I mean,
It's gonna be
it was one of
great.
the feedback points that the superintendent got bashed on, was all of his coffee talks were at only times when.
Nobody could be there.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Well, the reason why we had that Saturday event was because a member said, hey, I would love to be there, but Monday through Friday.
But we were.
And you showed up, with the dogs and everything.
Are you suggesting Saturday evening event?
No, Saturday morning.
Or any, yes. anytime.
Yeah.
Just like it was the last time. I mean, that sticky bun or whatever Heather made was insane, so.
It's a good
it was
turnout,
really
too.
good.
It was.
It was a good turnout. It was a
Yeah.
really good turnout, so. So yeah, we'll make that happen so that we can include you, because I know you gotta get up to Rogers first thing in the morning, so that's not good. That's not easy. Is there anything else with regard to outreach or?
There's other things coming, that's the next big
Okay.
thing you know.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, yeah, I will be there on Thursday for sure. So absolutely. Thank you. Josh.
So we met on January 3rd, executive advisory committee meeting, and you just heard and voted on the big outcomes, which was that we agreed as a committee that we would move forward that ratio, which the board had previously agreed to. And Randy was going to reach out to Dennis for a budget number for us to work on, which we got just a couple of days after that, which is awesome. And then I will work up language for motion. That's what we did. We also picked up the issue of a staff board member again. In our last regular meeting, there was some questions still, or some, I guess, seeking more clarity from the board about how we are approaching that. We discussed it. We discussed what the board had done. I'm going to come back to that and make a motion, because one of the things we ended up suggesting as a committee is that I will make a motion about our board position on that, what we arrived at in July. So we have that in the minutes. Before I do that, or ask Randy if I can do that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that was it. And, you know, and I said I'll actually write minutes and send agenda items to Randy this time, which.
Yeah, which I got.
Yeah, which we did this time, so, yeah.
It's super helpful.
So regarding the staff board member, over the summer of this past summer, we had a lot of discussion over subsequent meetings. I did some research, other folks did research. I evaluated a couple of different co-ops, set of bylaws and policies, actually from different sectors, a couple of distribution co-ops, a couple of food co-ops. I reviewed some of my own experience, also asked some of the consultants, and I made the recommendation that we as a board would not pursue a bylaw change, because we would have to have a bylaw change in order to have a staff member. Our bylaws stipulate that no one that receives more than $500 of compensation from the co-op can serve on the board of directors. And if we were to go forward, or if there were to be a member-driven motion that for the annual meeting, we'd have to get legal review of that anyway. Because every state's co-op law is different, and Arkansas does have co-op ag law that we are incorporated under. So we would have to check. Credit unions do not have staff members.
I have a question. If that $500 limit is there, how are board members eligible for those stipends you just presented?
So it is $500 in salary.
Salary.
Or paid from sales, direct sales to the co-op. So, so we have to be careful with that. We've had calls to have disclosure agreements in the past. Like years ago, we had a vitamin salesman on the board. And so we had a statement, he submitted a statement with his application about how his compensation works. But in general, that's what our bylaws say, is that you can't get paid $500. So we have to look at that. So the motion that I would provide is that the board does not recommend a bylaw change to allow a staff member to be a director for the board director or a member of the board of directors at this time. And that we would encourage and assist a member efforts to do so if they will need to propose something.
Is there something we could do, like have a committee of staff, and then they could just come and speak to the board periodically if they had an issue? Is that something we could suggest to them?
Yeah,
So there's something.
yeah, I'll get that in just a second. So I made a motion. just
Yes,
for-
yeah. So, can I get a second for that motion?
Can you say the motion again?
Yeah, sorry, I'll try to say it a little bit clearer this time. The board does not recommend pursuing a bylaw change itself to allow for staff members to run for election to the board of directors. We would assist member campaign or assist and advise a member campaign if members wanted to do so. That make sense?
Yep, it does. Can I get a second for that?
Yeah, so that's my motion. Is there a second?
Do you have to have that second piece in there?
No, but I want to make it clear because I don't think that we would oppose a member campaign, but the assist, I think is important because we would have to use co-op counsel to advise on it. So we would actually have to pay counsel to give an opinion on it. No, we don't. We could scrub that out and just deal with it as it comes.
Well, I mean, are you putting that in there in deference to members as far as that's concerned?
Yeah, I mean, Teresa was very vocal in her disappointment. And I've had that discussion with several other board, members of it. We can take it out though. I'm happy to take it out too.
I mean, I would rather remove that and keep that in there.
So
I don't know what everybody else thinks. I would just, because to me, it just opens up Pandora's box as far as that's concerned. Because then all of a sudden, you get.
Then we're on the hook.
Yeah, so I'll scrub my motion and make another one if that's okay.
That's fine.
Just taking out that last piece?
Well, now, let me reword it.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to envision where that comment was going to go. I make a motion that the board will not pursue a bylaw amendment in order to allow staff members to run for the board of directors at this time.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor of Joshua's motion? The ayes have it, 9-0. Let it reflect, everyone voted in the affirmative for that.
Good job.
Can you give Stephanie that language?
Yeah, what's that?
You remember?
Stephanie's
Stephanie's over there like, oh
The
man.
board will not pursue a bylaw amendment in order to allow staff members to run at this time.
Yeah.
Not at this time, it's just, is that, did you say?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah, okay, perfect.
I mean, I think the broader question is, what does the staff think? Because we got the members volunteering staff to be on the board, but like, what's staff's opinion?
Well, that relates to my answer to your question, Tony, which is that I think if operations, if Dennis or staff members wanted to pursue a committee that could meet the board members, great.
And to me, I think that's a better way to do
Yeah.
it. Plus, I mean, we've had more staff visit and come to our meetings in the past few months than a long time. And I also think that's reflective of the new leadership. So we need to continue to encourage our leadership to encourage that participation. And this issue may ultimately go away as far as that's concerned, because then people won't walk around saying, because the whole reason why that's even coming up is because people say, well, I feel disenfranchised, I don't feel heard.
It started a long time ago, right?
Right, and a lot of this is born out of issues that we are in the process of correcting.
And frustrations with previous management.
Right.
just to name it.
Yeah.
So, and also something Dennis said earlier, which he's said before, we should always remember, he doesn't create the culture, the staff creates the culture. And so if they want to seek a committee structure or something like that, great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all for that. So.
And is that something that the GM can communicate to the staff? That if staff are, you have communicated that if staff are interested in participating in board process, they're welcome to attend these. So I agree. I think it's something that was reflective of how management was handling the relationship between staff and board prior to this. And so I think you've come a long way in mending that and making it available and giving like staff feeling like they have a way to know their board members and communicate with their board members.
2015.
Is it okay if I just respond?
Oh, yeah.
I would just share, a good GM does not have staff members come into a meeting to talk to the board. I'm just putting that out there, okay? And to your point, Tony, I love the point. I can tell you, rest assured, there's 84. I can tell you 74. They're not coming to this board meeting and talk about what they don't like. They're coming to Dennis and tell them what they don't like, and we're doing it.
Yeah.
So I think that, just my opinion on it, that it's the board's choice, right? So this is just a recommendation I would make. I think that some type of a committee, some type of a structure, not the GM, but the HR manager, the operations manager, they come up with something. So what occurred here never happens again.
Yeah.
And I think that should be on the operators to help the board.
Absolutely.
Because, think about it, some of the operators aren't going to be here. I don't know about this operation team, okay? But I think it's the board. They come and they go. And I love what you said, Leanne, to get the new GM ready to roll. There's lots of boards, and Joshua, you would know this from Columbia, man, they're messed up. Because nobody ever communicates to them what's been going on. And then you get thrown into it. Oh my God, what do I do? So I just think we can do a lot together on this subject. And I feel that strong about this operations team. I've not seen too many like this. So just putting that out there. But that's just a recommendation.
Yeah, and so I have two other comments to make about that. One other thing that's been brought to my attention, and I've talked to some of you about, is unionization. And if there is a desire among staff or the board of directors or the management, and how do we feel about it? And just to put it out there, the board has no opinion on it. You are prohibited from federal law having an opinion. So don't have an opinion on it and don't talk about it.
Yeah.
My first introduction to board governance in 2006, was being informed that a board member had just left because the NLRB had contacted that co-op. And I was his replacement.
Nice.
So we will not talk about unionization, but we also won't oppose unionization because it's also prohibited by federal law.
Can you explain why that's prohibited us even having a discussion?
Because we're our trustees of the organization, and as trustees, we are not allowed to negotiate or to work with the formation of a union.
Oh,
Now, we can respond to union requests, which we would get to Dennis.
okay.
And our lawyers, we wouldn't do it. We can respond to it, but we cannot help with the organization of it. And actually, if we were to advise staff members on how to form unions, we'd have violated federal law.
Oh.
Yeah. So what I advise, in the conversations I've had recently, we're very, very explicit about this, which is that I'm not offering you opinion at all. I will say that unionization in Arkansas is a very tricky thing, and there's lots of ways to exact change at the co-op in this state, including changing management and attending board meetings and making your opinion known.
And that's just stating the facts.
That's just stating the facts.
Yeah.
Is that
Can I
suggested?
throw an idea to them?
Yeah.
I'm just giving you 48 years global. I've dealt with the UK, which some of the unions are quite entertaining, okay? But what I would tell you is I have UFCW and Teamster connections in terms of relations, had to work in union environments. I think that what you said about a board, if I was on the board of directors, my recommendation, if you have a GM that has an opinion on that subject, I don't think that's the right GM. So I don't have an opinion. And I can tell you that I worked in one of the most difficult union environments, UFCW, in the city of Cleveland, 61 stores. They just love me. Because what you do is if you don't have an opinion, then you work with unions. And it can be really fun, okay? And I grew up in NorCal. It was a blast. But that was not like some of the UK unions. I'm just putting that out there because some of them can be nasty. Just putting that out there. A GM should not have an opinion on the subject, just like a board, my view. And if they do, I'm not sure that's the right GM. Just putting that out there. But that's just a recommendation.
Interesting.
All right.
Is it 2 a.m. yet?
Yeah.
Hit the floor. I love being here.
Is there anything else for policy?
I'm good. Thank you.
Trim lettuce
I
time.
appreciate that. So we already did GM dashboard because that's been done. Real quickly, I just want to tell you the board retreat agenda. We're having dinner on the 1st of March. Thane will be flying in that afternoon. We will meet on Saturday, and Leanne was kind enough to offer up Modus Studio.
Yay.
So we're gonna meet there and use all of their fancy equipment and beautiful space. And the co-op will provide food and fun and all that other good stuff. And we're gonna meet till about 1:30, at which time we will go take a lunch. We haven't determined where we're gonna go for lunch, but that will be, we'll figure that out. So, but this should be a good meeting, and part of what Thane and I had talked about was, really kind of focusing on using this retreat to kind of talk about what's next for the co-op with regard to the manager and the recruitment process. So we're going to spend some time going into that. So that's what we'll do. And as soon as Thane sends me the agenda, I'll share it with you. It's a preliminary agenda. If anybody has any remarks or anything they want to add to it, we're open to that. So this is it's not just a Thane show. If somebody has something that they want to share, that, they just feel very strongly about, we'll work it in. So, but this year we're going to have two retreats, March, and then a date that we will set. And actually, I would like to set the date in March for October. So be prepared with your calendar books for us to get that on the books.
Has she sent that agenda yet?
Huh?
Has she sent the agenda?
No, she has not. As soon as she does, I'm going to forward it to you. Yeah, so sorry. So that's the board retreat. Financial review and audit options. I talked with Audrey, who is handling our review for 2022. And she gave me some thoughts. And one of the thoughts was simply that we may, if we were not inclined to necessarily do an audit for 2023, that she could roll 2022 and 2023 into one review. She's basically almost done with 2022. And 2023, with all the work that Dennis and Stephanie are doing, we'll have that information fairly soon, which we would then be able to turn over to Audrey, and then she could process that. And it would just save us a little bit of money, probably in the order of about, the current audit is, the current review is about $6,000. It would save us about 25-30% on the cost of doing two. So we would basically, that would be that. So she could work it out so that we could have them both done. And then maybe what we could do is look at 2024 to do the next audit that we actually do. And an audit is about $10K. Yeah. But the challenge for us with audits, and Audrey has some people that we could go to. The problem for us with audits is we haven't had a lot of options as far as that's concerned.
Who do we use normally?
We typically have used Wagner's, and they have done, I don't know how many audits for us, quite a few. So
4, I
but
guess.
they're also super slow at getting that motivation.
They're not gonna be fast.
Nothing is as over anything on a time. Yeah, they're cool. But I think the part of the issue is, and she literally just got somebody signed on with her, is that the shortage of accountants is astounding.
Yeah,
It's a real issue.
Yeah, just to share what Randy said, I would not count Wagner. I think my recommendation to you is no, I wouldn't do it. Bruce Mayer, the co-founder, partner, great guy. When he lost Elizabeth, he lost a lot. That whole business just went south. So it's just my opinion, okay? And they've done some really not good things. So in my personal opinion, I would highly recommend you get one person to do your taxes, one person to do your reviews and audits. I've worked with Audrey. She's sharp. She's as sharp as they get.
Yeah.
And I personally, we got too many people touching taxes and reviews. And poor Randy and I were trying, which one we got to sign? I got to figure out who that is. Wrong person. So again, one point of contact, really helpful on that. And that's what Wagner's used to provide. But they lost a lot of people.
Yeah, including Audrey, who used to be at Wickerson. She was our Wagner's accountant who handled our account, and then she left.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, and Elizabeth was the one I worked with exclusively.
2.5 years ago, 3 years ago? 3 years ago, I guess is when she left officially.
I think we should have We'd like to review it at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, well, I wanted to see if people had questions about it, because if so.
I have one question.
Yes.
Which, and this might be a Tony Alonso question, and certainly would be a Michelle Sharad question, which is changing management is one of the triggers for NCG for requiring an audit. So I wonder if I'm fine with it because we've had reviews every year for several years. But I wonder if we do need to check with NCG to see if, Mike negotiated with them to get us out of that annual audit requirement they had going for a while. But we have had a change in management. And so
That's what I was.
So
Were we on just a question, sir? Were we on a watch?
We were.
Did it end? Okay, so, just a question that I would just throw out to you is that, if you want me to do anything, just tell me. So I'm real close with Michelle. I highly recommend that you do these together and save the money. When I go into this, I don't know how else to put this, unorganized financial systems. I'm just putting it straight, and Michelle knows this. I cannot believe that NCG was not involved with this co-op on the financials. Because the best practices aren't here. And sometimes what they do is just look at cash in the bank. And that's great, but that's how the cash in the bank goes away. And so I'm just putting it out there. I think the best practices that are going in, Elizabeth, just so you know, the best practices I'm talking about, I'm not that good. I'll tell you, it's my brother who works with Mark Cuban, and it's Elizabeth. So that's my training. And there's nobody better than Elizabeth. She's holier than the Pope and Mark Cuban. She's good. So just putting it out there. There's no reason to spend money if if we can pull it off. You're going to save money. There's no reason to be doing a review or an audit right now where we're trying to get it all in place. Because we don't need somebody to go back in July and tell us everything we did wrong. We already got that.
Our watch list was related to our move. And so because we changed locations, we got cleared for that, but then we had our financial.
Makes sense.
I got you.
Yeah, because we've technically been financially healthy. For the most part,
Just systems.
That's all.
That's what bugs, I'm just being totally honest, and Michelle has already heard this from this co-op and another one. If you're involved and I'm paying you membership fee, you can miss everything, but make sure you've got the financial systems in order, because the board of directors, how do you know how many checks are getting written? We were writing 45. We're writing less than 6 this week. I mean, this time. And we're gonna write less because most of it's alcohol.
So why don't I do this then? Why don't I just check with NCG and
they'll let Dennis know if we mess up.
Yeah, that's true.
We could just move forward.
Well,
I like that idea.
I prefer if that's the case, then I would rather just move forward, because I'd like to let Audrey know so that we can just continue this process.
It's a heck of a deal. $6,000 per review. It's a heck of a deal.
Well, that's true.
Whatever we get.
Yeah, it is going to be a good deal. So.
And I don't know how much you know Audrey. I won't talk to NCG. Audrey will.
Yeah.
And she's highly respected at NCG, just so you know.
She's very, very.
They would hire her.
Yeah.
She's right.
She's very thorough. I just have to say that I feel like lately, when, and I've dealt with consultants in a lot of different arenas, but we've just stumbled upon really good consultants. We've been really blessed to get some amazing people that have been counsel for us on the legal side, on the NCG side, and certainly with all the Colluminate folks, not including Josh, but all the other people. He's part of that. I'm sure somebody at some board somewhere is saying the same thing about Joshua. But anyway, I feel really good about the counsel that we've been getting. So, would somebody else
abstain from this vote if we do have a vote?
Yeah, that's fine. I was mentioning that. Would somebody like to make a motion that, and the motion would simply be that we allow Audrey and her company to continue to do a review. Well, we've already voted on the review for 2022.
Yeah.
We're basically voting on.
Extend the review to.
We're going to extend the review to 2023.
Yeah.
Would somebody like to make a motion for that?
So moved.
Okay. Second. Okay. All in favor of us doing this? Aye. Okay.
And one abstain.
One abstain. So You or I?
Yeah.
Okay, so 8 ayes, 1 abstain. And that's it, the ayes have it, and I will inform her right away that we are gonna move forward with 23, in addition to 22, which is almost done.
22 is just minutes, board minutes, but it's nothing, it's almost there.
Yeah, so.
Sidebar, we paid $8,000 for a financial review like 6 years ago.
Wow.
So that's $6,000 we're getting from Audrey.
Yeah, that's a good, yes, and it's from her.
You're getting the
That's
best.
her key thing.
It's from her.
It's from her.
You're getting the best.
She's really good, yeah.
She also likes us. She liked our
So, anyway.
You can-
GM search update, just to kind of bring you up to speed on where that is, so we can close this out. We just have a few more things. If somebody could also pull up D7 through D9, I'd appreciate that. But just to give you an update on the GM search, I had a long conversation with Melanie from Colluminate, and my conversation with her was simply, she sent over a proposal, which I believe I shared with everybody, kind of giving you the lay of the land. The way that this would work is simply, Colluminate is gonna help us throughout the whole process. And we would hire an executive search recruiter. So it's a twofold process. The executive search recruiter, his first name is Brett. I can't think of his last name.
Myers.
He's out of Brett Myers. He's out of Mechanicsburg, PA. That I do remember. And we're talking tomorrow morning. But he would basically do the search for about 20% of first year's salary, plus any bonuses that were structured into whatever arrangement we made with whomever we hired. The bottom line is, I mean, the payments are, there's a third up front, and then the other 2/3 are due upon placing the person, and they give a 180-day guarantee of the individual that they place, which I thought was pretty cool. The thing that I was interested in is that he had placed a number of GMs at a number of the co-ops that I've actually been to, which I thought was kind of cool, including the co-op in Tallahassee.
That's technically Institute's co-op now. But.
Okay, yeah, the East End Co-op in Pittsburgh, co-op in Dorchester, brand new co-op in Dorchester, Massachusetts. But we're going to talk at length tomorrow, and I was going to get some additional information. But back to Melanie, she is going to kind of walk with us through this whole process. Part of what she requires, and I kind of like this, is that she needs about 90 minutes of our time to walk us through our expectations. Her advice is simply, we need to set a committee. So in addition to myself, I need 2 or 3 other board members that want to be on the search committee. So I really need you guys to be thinking about that. I don't need an answer today, but I do need 2 or 3. She said 3, 4 is great, 3 is fine. But, and obviously I'm going to be on that committee. As I asked her, do I need to be on it? She was like, you actually really should be on that. So
Yeah, you have.
yeah, so I'm voting for it. Yeah, right, you're voting for it. So anyway, so please be thinking about that. But I'd like to move forward with her services, partly because, not just because it would give us a little bit of a discount on the actual executive search work, but just because their overarching process is very thorough in how they manage this. And she does this all the time. And so she will be there holding our hands. She will be there answering questions and walking us through the things we need to be thinking about, so that, just like Tony's point that she brought up about making sure that Dennis just doesn't, leave us high and dry, not that he would do that, but that we want to make sure that all this amazing stuff that is happening right now, that this just gets bottled up and preserved. So that it continues even when Dennis is gone. Because at some point in time, and I don't really want to think about it right now, Dennis will be gone. He will go on, and not that you'll be gone, but you'll just be somewhere else working. And
Phone call away.
And yeah, and we'll be thinking about, man, it was great when we had Dennis here, and man, did he not set us up for this next stage of things with the co-op. So that's, I just think that she is going to be able to help with that whole process and help us all as we reconcile what our responsibilities are as a board in the hiring of the next general manager.
Like a project manager.
Yes, basically, of the whole process, yeah. And that's like the other reason why they provide a discount through Brett's company is because of that. He doesn't have to hold a hand like that. He can just focus on going out and doing his executive search work, which since I speak that language, I did search for a couple of decades, that, it's gonna be, it'll be, I think we'll have a good conversation about it and what his plans are and what his focus is. The biggest challenge that I see is simply that we are the only co-op in the state of Arkansas. It's not like we're in Twin Cities where there's several co-ops and maybe we can go take this. Because when I recruited, I always recruited people that weren't looking. Engineers and architects, I always wanted engineers and architects that were not looking for a job because they're the best. We call them opportunistic candidates. If I could convince you and help you realize that maybe the grass is greener someplace else, I could get you to consider that. When people are already out looking, they've already hung their shingle, that's a whole different mindset. When you have people that are actually happy where they are, that you can convince them to make a move, that takes a lot of skill and moxie. So trust me when I say this, there's not a lot of movement right now of general managers around the country, but we want, according to Melanie, but there's some good ones out there. And maybe we don't find everybody that checks off every box that Dennis has checked off for us. Because Dennis is a unicorn, but we can find somebody that has a lot of what Dennis offers, and in areas where we're not just, I wouldn't call them deficiencies, but areas where they can work on them or learn something, and I'm certainly open to that. My biggest thing, and this is Randy talking, is that we need a very strong leader that knows how to communicate to everyone, like everyone, at all times, that they're not afraid, they're not a shrinking violet, they don't go in there often, they're out on the floor at all times and doing all that stuff. So those are just some of the things I think we need, and we'll be able to communicate all of that to Melanie as we go through this process. So we make sure that we check off all those boxes. So I would ask that somebody would make a motion that we hire Cluminate to help us manage the executive search process for the next general manager. And the cost is going to be, I think it's roughly around $8,000 total. They need a portion up front and then the rest is paid at the end. But you've seen the contract, so I'm sure. So there's nothing hidden there. So if anybody wants to make a motion for that, then.
I don't see us doing this without them, so.
Right, okay. Okay, can I get a second for that motion?
Second.
Okay, all in favor of working with Cluminate for the hand holding of that process? Okay, we got 8 with 1 abstain. Okay, Stephanie, you got that? Okay.
Randy, just one additional thought.
Yep.
With the GM search, I'm just putting it out there. So this is the 9th co-op for me. What I would say is on the GM searches, the board, they decided to put me on the search committee and do the interviewing, but just make it perfectly clear. The board of directors picks the general manager, but I could be used as a resource.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if the interview, I know we had one particular one, it was too funny, it was with Carol Lee, that works with Cluminate. It was wild. Okay, just wild. And the only thing I would throw out to you too is you want me to look for people, that could be a possibility. So that's just something, I think it's addition to what you're doing, so.
Yeah, and he has Brett has a provision in his where if we identify someone,
You're good.
because I actually have somebody that's come to me and said, hey, I'd be interested in doing that. We can Brett can still vet them and take them through the process. There would be a discount off of that because he didn't find the person. So then I typically did I used to vet clients.
That's what you did.
I used to vet candidates for clients all the time. And they would just pay for my time really, and that would be what it is. So
Because if you get, I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out to the board. This is the first board I've ever seen where the board president had the experience.
Yeah.
This is gonna be cool with Randy on this committee. I'm just putting
Listen,
it.
but I'm not recruiting. I will be technically recruiting them, but I'm not recruiting anybody. Just so you know.
But it's really important because you're not gonna get hoodwinked, which is really good. That's one. And then 2, I think what's how can I say, the most important thing when you go through the whole process is it's all about where that person was and where they weren't. And boy, I've learned that. And Melanie and Carolee and I really learned that in a couple of them, where that person looked fantastic and go up and whoa, what a scary deal why they left there. It's all fun.
Yeah, it is. All right. So we've got that 8-1. Shane.
Question, Randy.
Yes.
For that search committee, what are your thoughts? Like, what would be important as far as like the characteristics of people from the board to help with that? Because I mean, not just like the time to do it, but like, it's deeper than that. And we're fortunate to have your expertise, so I'm, really curious.
I mean, I think anyone that has the ability to see through smoke. So, and to be able to, really kind of communicate with folks and connect with them and see where they're coming from. But I also think that each of us brings a different perspective to it. So honestly, I could see any one of us serving on that. There's not a weak point on this board that we could benefit from any one of you doing it. I see it really as a participation thing of who has the time to do it. But honestly, I think I think all of us could do a bang up job.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons you get a search firm is so you don't have to have the skills. Like you don't have to have your board members pretending they can do all these very specific skills.
Gotcha.
They can just be there to think and be creative.
Focus on the individual.
Focus on the
individual. Cool. So I'm not asking you to commit tonight, but I would say that if you guys can get back to me before the end of the weekend and say, hey, I'm up for doing it. I'm already in. So we need 2 or 3 other people that can be. Would you be included in that number or
addition?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Ex officio.
Yeah. Ex officio.
So you got your, like, when you get down to the point, and this is just how I've seen Melanie and Carolee do it, is that the board, you get to interview, the whole board gets to interview the final ones, right?
Yeah.
But when you get a good group of you'll solicit out.
Absolutely.
It'll go good.
For sure.
I think this group will do real good.
Yep. So please let me know by the end of the weekend. That would be great. And then we'll move this thing forward. When Brett sends me all of his information tomorrow, I will forward it to you so you'll have it in your inbox before the end of the day tomorrow. Cool. All right. Can we just quickly do board policies, D7, D8, and D9?
I got D7.
Okay.
The short one.
Vice President's role. Accordingly, A, the Vice President will ensure that the election and referendum process follows the board's policies. B, the Vice President will be the liaison between the board and the GM to ensure that board members are informed of the structure of the annual members meeting and all other special meetings in order for the board to constructively participate. C, in accordance with our bylaws, the Vice President will perform the duties of the President in their absence. And D, keep minutes of the executive session. This policy shall be monitored annually in December.
Anybody have any reflections or comments?
Yeah, I mean, since our meetings have changed so much in recent years, the vice president has not been as involved in the annual meeting planning. Used to be the case, less so now, of course. Maybe this year or in coming years, we either think about how that could be resurrected or change policies.
Yeah.
Because our perpetuation committee really is leading it currently, and that's been kind of a natural evolution in coordination with Lisa and Rutgers.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was part of it.
We're talking about basically taking that out.
Well, or adjusting it, maybe shortening the language.
Okay.
We'll monitor the process, not lead and be liaison or whatever it says now. That's a little bit.
The vice president originally put in there just to make sure there's continuity so like a perpetuation committee has a lot of new board members and possibly hypothetically you could have a majority new board members on that committee. Is that why originally that was vice president?
I'm not exactly sure why it says that. It doesn't really need to, and not a lot of it until
it doesn't. Then.
Yeah.
Granted, naturally, we consulted with Danielle because you were just the perpetuation.
I just happened to be.
So,
But we could take that up at the next policy meeting if you want.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yep.
Okay.
Gives us something to do.
That's right. Yeah.
I'll read the secretary's role.
Thank you.
Secretary's role is to ensure the integrity of the board's documents. Accordingly, the secretary will ensure that all board documents and filings are timely and accurate. The secretary will act as the board's liaison with the board administrator by assuring that all meeting minutes are accurate and well formatted, and assuring that all board documents, electronic and paper, are safely archived for an appropriate length of time. And this is, we still don't have that file cabinet. I don't know if we're gonna have paper documents ever again. The secretary will ensure that the policy register is updated to reflect changes approved by the board of directors. The policies are coherent and adhere to the policy governance model, and that the latest electronic version is distributed to the directors and GM. In accordance with our bylaws, the secretary will certify by his or her signature the results of voting in all elections and referenda put to the membership of the co-op. The authority of the secretary is to oversee access to accuracy of board documents. Policies are being monitored annually in December.
Comments, anyone? No? Thank you. D9, board member code of conduct.
I can read it.
Oh, it's a long
It's a
one.
You said that.
No one else is gonna jump in. Okay, here we go. The board commits itself and its members to ethical, responsible, and businesslike conduct, including the proper use of authority and appropriate decorum when acting as directors. Directors are legally responsible for discharging their duties in good faith and in a manner reasonably believed to be in the best interest of the cooperative. Accordingly, each director shall not fail to A, conduct herself or himself as a board director rather than as an individual member while conducting business. B, represent the interests of the members. A, this supersedes any conflicting loyalty, including but not limited to advocacy or interest groups, membership on any other boards or staffs, or acting as an individual employee or consumer of the cooperative's services. C, follow the cooperative's bylaws, including the avoidance of conflict of interest. Sub A, all conduct of private business or personal services between any director and the cooperative shall be disclosed to the board and controlled to assure openness, competitive opportunity, and equal access to inside information. B, directors have an affirmative obligation to state any possible conflict of interest of their own as well as that of any other director. C, directors shall not use their positions to obtain for themselves, family members, or close associates employment or business with the cooperative. D, directors shall disclose any business or personal associations with current or prospective staff, contractors, or suppliers. D, be aware of and follow the cooperative's policies. E, bring complete honesty and personal integrity to the board. F, openly and impartially consider all issues and matters, researching issues and seeking additional expertise where needed. G, be properly prepared for board deliberation. H, attend all board meetings or notify the board president when an absence is unavoidable. I, participate actively in board proceedings and communications between meetings and shall equitably share the work of the board. J, respect the confidentiality appropriate to issues of a sensitive nature. Under that A, all personnel, real estate, marketing, legal, strategic planning, and financial matters will be considered sensitive issues subject to the director's good faith and discretion unless or until made public by board action. A, project a positive image and conduct herself, himself in a professional manner. Under that A, all directors will respect the rights of other directors, staff, and members to communicate their ideas and will communicate with honesty and respect. L, ensure that when an individual director and/or directors disagree with a policy or action developed by the majority of the board, the dissenting director shall have the right to present evidence and arguments to the board in a manner consistent with board's policies. M, not attempt to exercise individual authority over the organization. N, support the legitimacy and authority of the board's decision on any matter, regardless of the member's personal position on the issue. This policy shall be monitored annually in January.
Well done.
Thanks.
If you did an audiobook, I would listen.
Yes.
Thanks, you have a great voice.
Chapter 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Should we update herself, himself to just be more of a gender neutral term?
Themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Easier to read too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check on,
One of yours.
there's a couple little weird grammar things like capitalizations and stuff
In
in
there?
there. Yeah,
Okay.
which you did great
Yeah.
getting over. And then also the subheadings. right? Why do we have A's with A's and B's?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
There should be one.
So will you
number.
go through that with policy?
Yep.
Okay, all right, cool, appreciate that, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, okay, real quickly, just gonna review meeting decisions and assignments. We accepted the consent agenda. We had, let's see, we voted on B9, 9-0. We also voted on the board compensation electronic vote. It was a follow-up vote with some additions to it, minor additions, but we voted on that 9-0. We also voted to not allow staff on the board, and that vote was 9-0.
We voted to not recommend a bylaw.
I'm sorry, not what?
Recommend a bylaw.
Recommend the bylaws, right? I
I
was writing down really fast. Yes, so.
It's important.
Yes, absolutely. We voted to move forward with our financial audit for 2023 as well, and that vote was 8 with 1 abstention. We voted to hire Colluminate to help us with the GM search, and that was also an 8 yays with 1 abstain. And yeah, and that was it. So those are all of the decisions, assignments that were set up. And Joshua, with the policy committee, is going to go over a couple of little issues with the vice president's role on D7, as well as D9, board member code of conduct, a couple of things to clean up there, including some gender neutral terms. And we've got to figure out where the key is to the file cabinet.
I don't think it exists. You might as well just call it
We
locksmith.
may have to,
Yeah.
I think we're gonna look that out, so we're definitely gonna get that fixed.
Years.
So, here,
See how much we use
real
it.
quickly, just for your edification, this is gonna change some because of the way that Dennis is presenting the information to us. So our calendar monitoring schedule, we're gonna have to make some slight adjustments to it based on what we have here and how Dennis is disseminating this information to us now. Because we weren't getting this information like this previously.
I got you.
So that's because, we had
Makes
really
sense.
been following this guideline and plan, and we have a calendar monitoring schedule. So one of the things that we're gonna have to figure out is how do we modify that, given how we're receiving reports now.
Interim reporting. Yeah.
Right. What that look like? Yeah. So that's what we'll do. You're gonna have a marketing report for us? February, okay. So we'll make sure that that's in there. And if there's anything else to add, we will certainly add that. We'll probably have a follow-up report to the GM search update. And every month we'll have a GM search update for the next few agendas that we have going on, and we'll kind of go from there. So. Did I miss anything? I'm sorry?
You're great.
Quick evaluation and adjournment, so Cannon, you want,
Yeah.
this was a meeting, so.
Yeah, there's a lot to digest. But I'm just mostly excited, I think, about this dashboard and the content within it. Not so much the dashboard is great too, but man, this turnaround, so far looking good. So that's exciting. So I think that's the most exciting thing going on now. Great meeting otherwise.
Thank you.
It's been great to see all the changes. A lot of the changes are things that have come back, which are the most exciting ones. Honestly, we're just so excited to see things back to how they were when, everything was running smoothly. But these sales are really cool too. Never done those before.
Yeah.
And I've had friends that ask me about those too and being excited about it. So it's great to have like the old, but also the new coming together and just really showing up. So it's all good things. And it's great to see staff at the meeting too, be able to see faces.
Yeah.
During the store. So you think all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Ms. Fairman.
Yes, all that. Plus, yeah, every time I'm in the store, there's so much more activity. And tonight, just getting up to the hot bar was kind of tough because there were people my way. So it's a very good sign. I'm really happy to hear about the changes you're going to make in the produce area with the lighting. And hopefully there's going to be more of a variety. I don't know if that's part of the plan as well. And then I'm really happy about the bulk area changing because I ventured in there the other day. I don't get in there much, and it did feel like I was in a different place.
Yeah.
So if you can change the environment over there, I think I might go there more.
Even more.
So, yeah. But yeah, great meeting, a lot of, big meeting. So, good stuff though. I knew it would be a long one tonight.
I'm sorry.
Good stuff though.
Yeah.
No, that's the way it is.
Happy to see the turnover rate is now below 5%. Well done. I did like this dashboard. It was a lot to digest, but I liked on the back. I think this is probably the most useful part to me because it really illustrated what you all are doing. Yeah, it's a really robust meeting. I'm happy to be on the search committee, so
Thank
we
you.
will happily
Nice.
make time for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, sorry for you there.
Check.
Well, I'm happy to be here as always. I think that going from no financials to these financials, that's a great thing. Interested to see where they're gonna go, how we are managing our excess cash, like what our interest rate percentages are, what products we're using, if we're using like sweeps accounts or, what type of return we're getting for 1.5 to 2 million, because that's a lot of cash to just set. I mean, I know we're getting interest, but are we maximizing that? So like forward thinking, how does that work for us and what products are we using there? And then KPIs for getting to $16 an hour. Like, is there a labor percentage of sales there that's an indicator or goal? And sort of what are the actuals that we're going to look at to get to that 16? I didn't want to bring it up, but that's sort of what I'm interested in.
I can tell you, we're gonna start open book management on this subject. It's gonna be in the tap room. It's gonna be for the team. Like, how do we get there?
Yeah, exactly. They need
And
to be a part of it. If they're a part of it, then.
I think it's something too, I've done it where you're trying to educate the staff, also trying to educate the member owners.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for all the member owners to listen to exactly how do we get there.
Oh, yeah.
And one way we can get there is shop. Buy our products.
Go get some sushi real quick.
Yeah. Cover charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, good meeting. All of this is wonderful. All the finances is wonderful. But one thing I've really enjoyed seeing with all the events the co-op has been doing is I feel like the co-op's starting to reach its potential for community and connecting people. For the health of the co-op, for the health of us individually, I think we all need that. And I think it's pretty awesome to see.
Good.
Yeah.
We just bought some heaters. So get ready for the next events outside.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun.
Very cool. That's all we have to do in Arkansas. The weather will warm up.
You're gonna love it.
You're I think it's coming at 60 degrees.
I just saw a truckload that's going down the road and
We bought more of them. Get ready.
Great meeting, very informative. Thank you for all the numbers. It's great to see. First time I've ever had roasted pork was the rib tips.
That's good.
I had a co-op, and I've eaten at many co-ops around this country, so I appreciate that. My deep southern soul feels fine by the co-op world. And the mac and cheese was good. I will go ahead and say it, and we should don't be offended, but our mac and cheese is in general been crap for many, many years.
Here?
And that was solid mac and cheese.
Really?
Yeah, that was really
Dakota
good.
made it. He's really proud of it.
Yeah, I ate way too much. So
Really good.
it's not there, but yeah. When I got to the tap room early today because I had some other work to do, and I got the last seat. When I was there, there was a table of art students who I happen to know because I've taught them all, but they were
Nice.
having their own student meeting. We had a state senator was there who was having her after dinner snack and doing some constituent.
Nice.
And there were like 3 other business people like having like pop-up meetings and several dates.
That's why I didn't get a seat. I'll take it.
That's a pretty cool hangout right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So awesome.
That's a good problem to have.
You get that demographic so well.
Good eye.
That's what I do.
Archived it, you know?
I couldn't concentrate, I was like, wait, I know, this is so cool. It's not just me and like the one table of really loud sorority girls. It's like, no shade on sorority girls, glad they were buying our stuff.
It's good.
Yeah, it was a great meeting. I was, really appreciate the snapshot. Of course, it's just great to just visual. I've been really excited. I mean, it sounds weird, but I've been really excited when I come here and I can't find parking because it just makes me excited. And even though it's a long line and all this stuff, it's like, that's just so good. I'm just excited about all that. So, but what's a part of that is that, you know, we're talking about sale at the beginning of your dashboard, and it's not just like it's not just the customers, you know, that's the, you're really tired. The team and what they're doing is what's driving that, and I think that's just a beautiful thing to see. And so, I mean, just applauding everybody here, you know, as their voice, but seeing those numbers rise, I wasn't proud just because of the customers coming in here. I was proud because customers want to come here, and I think that's just different. I just love seeing the connection here. So anyway, thank you, and thank you everybody. Honestly, it's been a good. Last year was really cool, and so
Thank you. Great meeting. It's a lot to do, a lot to discuss. I apologize. I was way past our agenda time, so clearly I've got to keep better track of that. But we had a lot to share, so I appreciate you guys bearing with me, and we still have a little bit more to share. So I think it's important that we get this. But you know, there's going to be seasons of sowing and reaping, so we're going to have to do a little bit of extra work tonight. But we've had a 2-month break, so I'm okay with that. So, any thoughts from the Director of Operations?
Not currently, no.
Okay, cool. Dennis?
I just gotta tell you, I love being here. And I could tell you, if you see emails at 1 or 2 in the morning, I'm hell-bent on turning this thing around. And I think the culture is really cool, but the results are gonna drive it. And I appreciate your support. I appreciate your patience. Randy drives me crazy. From a standpoint, I love working with him. So I just think you're really fortunate to have him as the board president. I've had lots of board presidents and I don't know where they're going. This one's really solid, and it's really a joy. It's fun. So just to let you know that, and I love this team. I really do.
And I will say goodnight. I want to thank all of you. What a tremendous turnaround this board has made from this.
10 months ago.
We've been yelling at each other. Oh my God, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
You did just have, and thank you to our membership for pushing the limbo so we could make this change. Because I think it took that for this shift to happen. And our membership, our staff, and to, I don't know, sometimes you gotta hit bottom before you can rise up again, and y'all are doing it, and it's fabulous. And you just got the right person to lead. Has anybody asked you yet if you've fallen in love with Fayetteville and want to stay?
I love Fayetteville. I don't know.
It's a pretty special.
You haven't made any cookies yet, though.
Taking me out dancing.
Oh, man, that's funny. Thank you so much for coming.
Good night. Thank you all.
Good night.
See you next
Great
time.
team.
Thanks for being
That's not
here.
your bad, right?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Oh, this is so funny.
So, this meeting is adjourned, and we will close out this meeting. It's the recording.
Stephanie, I sent you that language out, it makes sense.
Okay.
I think I sent it to you like Stephanie. Somebody got some email they didn't want.
Stephanie,
Conway's email, that's the one I sent it
executive
to.
session, I've asked Alicia to send.
Sure.
Is that all right?
Absolutely.